This is what I tell my clients. When I fully choose to stop caring what people think about me, they become obsessed with me. Say this to yourself. If you guys are watching this, when I stop caring what people think about me, they become obsessed with me. Some of you think I'm making this up. Try
It's
it.
true. It's the truth.
Try going home for Thanksgiving dinner and everyone says stupid shit to you. People are trying to rile you up, your siblings, your parents, whatever, and stop caring what they think about you and they will become obsessed with you. It makes no sense. It was one of the craziest things when Grant Cardone said the most hate he ever got was when he started making the most money. When you stop caring what people think about you, people become obsessed with you.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Report. Today, I got a special guest in town. I got a good friend of mine, someone who's been on the podcast not once, not twice, but 3 times. I got my man, Michael Sartain. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's going on, man? Are we ready to get finally canceled?
Oh, man. Round 3, get ready. I am so excited. So much to dig into here and so much to cover, man. But excited you're in town, bro. We had a good time last time you were in town. We had a table for Cascade. This weekend you're in town for a swimsuit fashion show and table at Park tomorrow night, man. But excited to connect. Dude, first things first, man. There's 2 types of guys out there, I realized. And I really came apparent to me last weekend. The 2 types of guys are the one that is inspired by the growth, the things that you're, all the things that you're doing, the level up, the fame, all that sort of stuff. They're inspired by it and they're like, hey, how can I do that too? But the other type of guy out there is the guy that's jealous by it. And I experienced this last weekend as I took my boat up to Mission Bay and took the new boat up to Mission Bay. And there's, it's kind of a younger area. I usually have it in the downtown area. And it's a little bit older demographic down here, 30s, 40s, 50s. But over there, it's a lot of 20s. And we pull the boat up to my guy friends. And all of a sudden, all the girls start swimming over to my boat. And they start leaving all the other boats and they start swimming over. And next thing you know, you see the guys on the other boats telling all the girls, no more girls are leaving the boat. No more girls are going over there. If you guys go over to his boat, like, we're going to take all your shit. We're never going to see you again. And next thing you know, girls on my boat are like, they're like, hey, like, these dudes are texting us, threatening us that they're going to throw our shit in the water and leave if we don't go back to the boat. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen dudes so jealous before. And so I went over there and saw that. And so it got me thinking, I'm like, there's 2 types of guys in the world. There's the guys that are inspired and the guys that are jealous. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think I try to have empathy for everybody in their position. Like initially, when you probably got a little bit of clout on social media, you started to notice the haters and you're like, yo, I'm just a normal dude. Why are you hating on my life? Why are you hating on my content? And it seems like super unfair. And at first you kind of bow up to it or whatever. And then after a while, once you do it for a while and you start having success, you know what you do for a living creates wealth. You know what you're doing for a living works. You know that your understanding with females works. You and I have had these discussions several times. So then you kind of get, okay, well, where's this criticism coming from? Richard Reeves, who's one of my favorite authors, he's a professor at the Brookings Institute. He goes on Chris Williamson and he says one time, I have to assume that everyone, my initial assumption is that everyone comes from a good place initially. So I'm like, okay, why are these guys being so hateful? Like, what is the issue here? And what I realized is one of the most comfortable positions you can have as a man or a woman is to be a victim. If you're a victim, then you always have another person to blame for why your life didn't end up the way that you intended it to. Like flat earth is a great example. Flat earth is nothing but victimhood. It's just like, the reason why I'm fat, broke, whatever, is because of the fact that the Illuminati and the lizard people who live under Antarctica have just made my life extremely hard.
And the shitty thing when you have that mentality is like, you basically take all the control of your future out of your hands. It means that you're basically telling yourself you have 0 control of your future and the route that you're going to take. I like the opposite approach. It's like, I like taking full responsibility and being like, you know what, like tomorrow and the next day and next year and the next year, that's on me. And whatever the fuck I want to do and make of it, I can do.
Well, if you and me were on the boat and we had 40 girls on the boat and then they jumped off and jumped on other people's boats, I would just charge it to the game. I wouldn't be mad at those dudes. I'd be like, yo, did somebody fart on the boat? Like, why did everyone leave the boat? I'm looking at myself internally for like what the issues are. And that's, I was an aviator in the military, right? I was a navigator in a KC-135 Stratotanker. If things go wrong, I can't blame anyone else, especially when we're on a mission. Because if something goes wrong, I can't blame someone. Well, we have to fix a problem or we're going to die. So it's one of these situations where my default reaction is to not be a victim, to take action to fix the problem.
And I'll take it a step further. Even if it's not my fault, I like taking responsibility and being like,
extreme ownership.
Hey guys, that's on me.
Yes.
I need to get better. That's on me. And it feels good to do that, even if it's not 100% on you, to take 100%
Yeah,
responsibility.
Jocko Willink talks about that in Extreme Ownership. It doesn't matter if it's your fault, whether or not it's your fault. Like, for instance, if one of my sales guys does something horrific, right? It doesn't make any difference that I'm not in charge of sales in my company. It's still my company. It's still on me. So, as far as the hate stuff goes, I've said this more than 80 times. I've said,
By the way, man, we got some Pellegrino drip
Pellegrino.
right here, man. I never liked the Pellegrino until last year when I started taking extended breaks from drinking. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, Pellegrino, little lemon lime.
Great way to
Oh, good
lose
go.
weight. If you do intermittent fasting, you load up on Pellegrino in the morning, and it keeps you like a little bit fuller, a little bit more satiated. It's really great. If you guys are getting intermittent fasting, I'd highly recommend Pellegrino in a glass. It's definitely really good. One of the most common criticisms I get when people see my social media is like, "Oh, Michael, you're just paying all those girls. Like, nice job being a sugar daddy, bro." And I'm like, and I've said this more than 80 times, and I'll say it right now to your audience. If you can find a single girl I've ever paid to come to my event, to go on a date with me, to take a picture with me, or anything else, I'll give you $50,000. And I say this, and that usually shuts them up. Well, finally, this week, I got to shout this one dude out. He's messaged hundreds of girls I know. So every girl that I take pictures with, they're tagged in my photos. They like the photos. They comment on the photos. And then also when I do my show Access Vegas on YouTube, I put every girl's IG in there. So this guy's messaged all these girls, and he's like, how much does Michael Sartain pay you to hang out with him or whatever? And the girls either screenshot the message and send to me, or they write the guy back and like, yo, idiot, he doesn't pay me anything. I just love Michael. So the girl, one of these girls I'm dating, she goes, he pays me with Chipotle and orgasms. And she's like, whatever, this is good job, Michael, thinking that it was me on her IG, like writing him back. So she sends him a video message.
Dude,
and it's
hilarious.
It's just one of these things where it's like, the reason why they're hateful, there's two reasons. Number one, it's because they're a victim. But number two, your method of success is foreign to them. Wait, I can provide value for other people, and then I will make a bunch of money. I could create an audience that's humongous, and if 1% of that audience buys my product, I can become fabulously wealthy. That's outside their reality. I'm a man, and I can use mate choice copying, which is a concept from evolutionary psychology. I can use mate choice copying in humans to show that I have abundance with women, which makes more women attracted to me outside of using money. Wow, that's so outside of their reality. If I show them data from Texas Tech, the Royal Society, Southwest University, Oklahoma State, whatever, that shows very conclusively that men who other women choose, other women find attractive, if I can show that to them, they still don't want to see it. They're like, no, that's outside of my reality. Sugar baby, prostitute. Like, that's the only thing that they can say.
Bro, speaking of sugar baby, so almost all the girls told the guys to fuck off, and like literally just told the dudes to fuck off. But three of the girls, one of them was like, hey, like, you got to take us back. Like, one of them's like my boyfriend or whatever. And I said, hey, of course, like let me give you a ride back. So I gave him a ride back on the tender, and they're showing me text messages from the dude, and the dude's calling them like sugar babies, like get off the sugar daddy's boat. First of all, I'm not even that old. Like I'm no 60 or 70-year-old dude. First of all, second of all, I drop them off at the boat, and I said, which guy is it? And they're like, oh, it's the guy with the green hat. So I pull up, I drop him off. I have no idea who this guy is. As soon as I drop him off, the dude in the green hat rolls up. Yo, Rich Chalmers, what's up, baby? I follow you. I follow you on Instagram. I follow your podcast. You want to go out on the boat? Let me know. I'll fill it with girls. I'll DM you on Instagram. I'm like, I don't even know who this dude is. I'm like, what a fake dude. But the good news is this. Most dudes in my circle are very inspiring, all about the level up, all about the personal growth. And that's what I stand for. And it's just a couple of dudes out there that do this kind of stuff. And I saw them. I witnessed it last weekend. Fake as fuck. But hey, it's part of the game. But it made me realize, I'm like, I got to talk to Michael about this. There's two types of dudes out there.
Isn't it wild? So my buddy Justin Waller,
yeah,
I love the way he says this. I'm not afraid of a bad man. I'm afraid of a desperate man. The desperate man is the one who, like, you have a private conversation with him and he goes snitches off to your competitor about something you said. A desperate man is like, you leave town for a while and he goes and hits on your girlfriend. That's what a desperate man does. It's not a bad man, it's a desperate man. And if you live in a victim mentality and you have a complete scarcity when it comes to money or when it comes to women, or you're just an unhappy person or you're out of shape or whatever, so scarcity in any of those positions, then what's going to happen is you're going to act out of desperation. So one of the things I used to do in Vegas, I would have a group of girls come into town, and I would so it's just me, and let's say I have 10 girls, they're from Dallas or whatever. and I go up to, like, say, Access Nightclub, and I'll go to the host and I'll be like, hey, do you guys have any industry tables or any big spenders you want me to leave these girls there? And I would go and I would leave the girls at the big spenders table, and then I would go up on stage, and Rich, every single time I get these messages, these guys are weird. Come save us. Come save me. What's going on? I just consider, if you're a woman, you're used to guys being like, no, stay on my boat. And I'm like, no, go over to this guy's table, have a great time. And they're like, this guy has so much abundance that he's willing to leave 10 girls at someone else's table. And then I look up on the DJ booth and he's standing behind the DJ. Like, I need to be with him, not with these guys. And so, like, it's when you have that level of abundance. And then the other thing is, this is the most important thing. I friend zone every woman I meet. Friend zone. That doesn't mean they friend zone me. I don't hit on them. I friend zone them. Whenever I approach,
that's key.
Yes, when you don't show sexual intent. I reserve sexual intent for a woman who has shown me some level of approval, compliance, validation, whatever, meaning she's done some level of sacrifice to show me that she's interested in me. Other than that, I will never show a woman sexual intent. I don't like bikini photos online. The girls get so mad about this. They're like, Michael, you never like any of my photos. I'm like, yeah, we'll graduate from college. And then I promise you I'll like the photo. Buy a house, I'll like the photo. Adopt an animal from a rescue, I will like the photo.
For sure.
Show me a picture of you grabbing your butt in a bikini, I'm not gonna like the photo.
No.
You don't deserve any intent from me until you show me some level of compliance. And so when I do that, what does that do? It's the same thing. It's the level of abundance. Other guys immediately, when they're alone with a girl they're attracted to, they put on this pickup persona, this like Casanova persona. And I'm like, no, here's what I do. When I like a girl, do you know what I do? I introduce her to a girl I'm sleeping with, always. I always introduce beautiful women to one another and then show zero intent. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the next thing you know, I'm out with 20, 30, 40 girls. And guys, look at the situation. The girls are more beautiful than anyone they've ever been with before. And the only possible reason they can come up with is, I paid them, these girls are unhealed, they're sugar babies, whatever. And then my response is, okay, well, if they're sugar babies, I got an idea. Offer them money online and then see what happens. And then they do. And then, of course, the girls aren't sugar babies and they don't know what to do.
But I also think that, like, the more you're around groups of, like, females, like, the more numb you are to it. And just, like, the more it's just like, hey, like, this is not a big deal. So, you know, like, in my environments, it's like, okay, like, in the office, it's mostly females on my team. On my boat, it's mostly females on the boat. And so because of that, I'm like, guys, it's not a big deal. I'm just numb to it, right? Where other guys, they're in the situation for the first time and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to fucking act.
Yeah, I never talked about this before. So when I was working at a gentleman's club from 2000 to 2004, Enron had gone out of business. We had the dot-com bubble. I couldn't find a job out of college. So I ended up working as a DJ at a strip club.
Bro, I always forget how, like, OG you are.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you don't look that old, dude.
So I went working at a strip club, and the funny thing is, you would think it's like the creepy manager or the creepy DJ going in and like ogling the girls. No, bro, it's 50 girls and 6 dudes. We don't look like, we're just so completely desensitized to female nudity at that point. And I would go in the dressing room to like tell the girls, hey guys, we need you up in like 20 minutes. And they'd start whistling at me. They'd start catcalling me. And it was just this point where like they would grope me in the DJ booth. And I'm like 22, 23 years old. And at first it's exciting, but after a while, you're just completely numb to it. And then now you hang out with a bunch of like, women's sexual nature of being a bikini or nude has no effect on you whatsoever. And then women see that and they're like, this is the only guy I've met all night who doesn't stare at my boobs. This is the only guy I've met the whole time. He didn't try to get like a creepy little hug in where he touches my butt. He gave me a high five, called me bro, and then introduced me to a girl who's hotter than me. I've never had an experience with a man like this. I have to know why he's different. Why is this guy not validating me? I've got to get validation. I will do anything to get his validation.
It's similar to the opposite side of, like, let's just say like a OnlyFans girl that gets a ton of engagement from other dudes online. Just engagement after engagement after engagement. She's almost numb to it, where it's like it doesn't get her up. Versus that woman that, you know, is a nurse that lives at home with a dog, and she literally, her stimulation is going out to eat, working, and literally going and like working out, right? And so then she gets some sort of engagement from one dude. That's a big deal for her. And versus the OnlyFans girls, the same exact situation.
Yeah, so it's not, this is a big point of contention and very big
Stimulation
point of
is what you call it,
yes,
I believe.
It's how much stimulus does she need to be happy? How much stimulus does she need?
This is so good.
Yeah, so I was dating this one girl, one of the biggest fitness models in the world, and she had a team that managed her social media. She never posted anything. She had she would work her ass off. She would take photos. She would give it to her social media manager, and they would post for her every day. She never looked at how many likes she got, and it was a terrific relationship with this woman because she didn't need stimulus. Her stimulus was being with me, being intimate with me, being alone with me, watching TV with me, playing with me and my animals, my cats that I rescue. That's where she got her stimulus from. I've been with other women before that are far less attractive than her. I've just maybe had them on my show, Access Vegas, or interacted with them, and they're craving stimulus. Face app. They'll go on there and they're completely face app their face where they don't even look recognizable. They'll do the little thing where they cinch in their waist to make themselves look skinnier.
Before they post on IG.
You saw the thing with Sadia Khan where she was using the little waist filter to make herself look skinnier.
There's a dude online that literally just rips all these like fitness models and fitness influencers doing that.
Sure. Is Goop? Are you talking about Goop?
Yeah.
Goop is the one who caught Sadia Khan.
Really?
And so the woman who requires more so for instance, guys are like, yo, man, girls with high body counts. I'm like, that's a good point. So basically there's data from the GSS and the IFS that comes out that basically shows that for men and women, if you have more sexual partners before you're married, you're going to be less likely to be happy in a marriage, but the effect is twice as strong for women as it is for men. And people hate this because they think it sounds sexist. They think that what I'm saying is men need to sleep with a bunch of women and women don't need to sleep with a bunch of men. I'm not saying that. Do whatever you want. What I am saying, though, is the effect of sleeping with more men seems to hurt women's ability to be happy in a marriage more than it does men. It's almost 2 to 1 what the effect is.
Really?
Yeah, the lack of marriage satisfaction. You guys can look up the data on this if you want.
And is there a certain like threshold? I think I've heard you say like 20 before.
20? Yeah, I've heard 20 before.
And break that down. You're saying less than 20, what happens? And then north of 20, what happens?
There's a particular study, I believe, was done by the Peterson Institute, which showed that a woman that had more than 20 sexual partners had a 17% chance of being happy in a marriage. To be fair, there's a 56% divorce rate. So you really just have a 44% chance of being happy in a marriage to begin with. Actually, you probably should cut that in half because there's a lot of people who stay married who aren't happy. So you have about a 22% chance of being happy in a marriage.
So really, I was only going from 22 to 17.
Yeah. So it's like you have a 17% chance of like being happy in a marriage if you've had 20 partners. And the thing is, like women get upset about. I'm just referring to data to you.
Would you date a girl that's had 20 partners?
Would I date? So you're never. Here's the thing, Rich. I don't want to get into me because I've gotten into this problem before. What I do want to say is that you're never going to know, are you? Mm-hmm. You're never really going to know how many partners you have.
But some girls are pretty like straightforward about it.
Yeah, they're straightforward about it. Just add 10. You know what I'm saying? Like when guys are straightforward about it, subtract half. You know, no. The thing is, what I'll say about that is, since you're never actually going to know what her body count is, the better way to do it is how much stimulus does she need? What is the probability in your mind if Chris Brown messaged her that she would respond? So if you're dating a girl and you're like, yeah, he's not interested in that. If Chris Brown, Machine Gun Kelly, or Drake messaged your girl, what's the probability that they would respond?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, if it is 10 out of 10, then she needs more validation then she's probably not a good girl. I know several girls who would not respond.
I'm dating.
I've literally had girls
out there.
I've literally had girls show me before. I've like seen their IG. It's in the request folder. Champagne Poppy is messaging them and they're like, I'm not responding to him because I'm not, he's a fuckboy. I'm not interested in being with a dude like that.
I'm friends with Nikki San Diego and she's got like all these dudes in there that are actually have wives, like Conor McGregor, for example, in her DMs.
Yeah, Nikki San Diego is the Regina George of San Diego. Would you say? Like she's like the leader of the crew out here.
Yeah. She's been hanging out in the boat lately.
Yeah. So Nikki Sullivan's a great example of a
cool.
wing
She's
girl.
Cool. Yeah.
Great
wing girl.
I actually started dating a girl that Nikki introduced me to. She's a perfect example of a great wing girl. Nikki's in a relationship, but she's a great girl that if I have a girl that I like, I would introduce her to Nikki, and I might go to the bathroom and Nikki would talk me up because she's a homie. Nikki understands. She's down for the cause. Having girls like that are homies is so key. And also she's really pretty. So the girl looks at her and is like, wow, Michael's friend was with a girl who's really pretty. And so like if Nikki hears this, she would agree with everything I'm saying. Literally last time I was here in San Diego, she was like bigging me up to some girl. And I was like, yo, this girl is an incredible wing girl. And I'm still respectful to her boyfriend who's standing right there. You know what I'm saying? So like you can do both. Well, how is that? It's because I've never hit on Nikki. She's my friend. I friend zone her. I'm like, hey, I treat her like a human being. And because of that, she's down for the cause. She's down. She's a homie. And that's why I love. Imagine doing that 100 times. And now what women do, this is going to blow people's mind. You want to talk about one where we're going to have people get people really angry. So the belief is if I take a picture with a bunch of girls, and let's just say I'm friends with these girls, they come and support my animal rescue charity, they support my charity for homeless children. We're doing one for the Midnight Mission in Los Angeles in December, or the Teddy Ball that we're doing here 2 days after Thanksgiving here in San Diego. If I have a bunch of girls that come out to this event, they take a picture with me, what guys, really good looking guys and females think is, well, it looks fake because you're not sleeping with those girls and they're not interested in you, blah, 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 whatever. And then there's clear-cut, conclusive data that shows that when you take pictures with attractive women and the women seem happy to be in the photo with you, even if the other women looking at the photo know you're not sleeping with them, they still find you more attractive. And they think you're more generous, more intelligent. There's all these attributes. This data is conclusive. There's been hundreds of studies on this, and people still argue with me about this. And then I'm like, well, then why is it that whenever I take these pictures, you see hundreds of women liking the pictures, including Nikki San Diego? She likes a ton of my photos. Why is that? It's because they enjoy being around men who aren't creepy. What's a great way to know that you're not creepy?
You're with
surrounded
other
by
girls all the
beautiful
time.
women.
Yes.
Beautiful women like
common
being
sense.
around you, touching
Yeah.
you. And so you have to think about this. If I see a girl who's a 10, who I objectively think is a 10, I have all the information I know to at least go on a date with her. Maybe not to marry her, but to go on a date. Hip to waist ratio, signs of youth, facial symmetry, whatever. I look at these things, and I'm just using these are evolutionary psychology terms. I look at these things, and immediately men can tell that they're attracted to a woman in less than 1/10 of a second. When a woman looks at us, she has imperfect information. She doesn't know micro penis, terrible in bed, can't dance, abusive, stalker.
There's a lot of variables
She
that
has
I don't
no
know.
idea.
Yeah.
But if she sees my two best friends are CJ Sparks and Kindly Myers,
She
or,
has to assume.
or published Playboy models, then she has to assume that I don't have those attributes. And so now what's happened is that, you know, that form you fill out when you're for like a rent application or whatever, the form for that for me is now filled out because she's watching what other women do. And here's the craziest part. That concept, we call it pre-selection or mate choice copying. It's more effective on women under 25.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because they have fewer social cues. They have less experience dating men. So seeing other women finding a man attractive.
They have less reps.
Because they have less reps, it's better for them to copy people who have more experience than them. And so because of that, and that's probably why I end up
That's actually so good.
That's why I end up, like, so many women in their 20s end up going out with me is because of that reason, is because of the pre-selection thing. Boy, I've pissed so many people off right now just by saying this. But again, like, the data is conclusive on this. And so, like, why people want to continue to argue with me, I just still don't understand.
I mean, to me, it's common sense.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense. And you're really just saying the things that everyone's already thinking. They're
Yes.
too afraid to say it.
Well, that's kind of what evolutionary psychology is. Like, if you actually go into the data, it's like, you know, there's one of my favorite studies. Men who bully more in high school have more sexual partners. That is so offensive if you really think about it. Men who get bullied in high school have fewer sexual partners. Women who get bullied in high school have more sexual partners. Men who are the victims of violent crime. So let's just say you show a bunch of men who are the victims of violent crime. You show pictures of these men to women. They find those men to be less attractive. But like, they don't even know that the guy's a victim of violent crime. They could just see the marshmallow upper body, the less masculine
But dude, this
features.
is the same exact thing as the Tom Brady Giselle with the
Yes.
MMA trainer. It's the same exact thing.
Yes. So this is another one that pisses a lot of people off. They're like, Michael, who hurt you? Why would you say this? So there's this epidemic of men taking their wives to jiu-jitsu classes, and these men then taking the men, tying them up in knots. So imagine you go to a jiu-jitsu class with your wife. You go in there, you've never done jiu-jitsu before. Some blue belt comes in there, this good-looking Brazilian guy, and he chokes you
Manhandles
out.
you.
And your wife is watching you tap and get choked out over and over again.
Submit.
Totally
Submit.
emasculated. And then she comes back the next week without you, and now she's on the ground grunting with this good-looking Brazilian guy. And then you see it with Scotty Scheffler, with same thing what happened with Giselle. She started
Tom
Giselle
Brady's
from
wife,
Tom Brady's
ex-wife.
wife. She started sleeping with the jiu-jitsu instructor. And so women were like, who hurt you, bro? And I was like, the idea that women can't conceive, or even men can't conceive of watching your husband being emasculated by another man, that making you less attracted to him, it's like you're denying evolution. Like, you're denying evolution. You act like, no, I would know better. I love my husband. We're together because he's my person, because our astrology signs match. It's because he has a great vibe and great energy, and we're connected. I'm like, no, it's evolutionary. You thought that this dude was more alpha than your other options, and that's why you picked. But people don't like that because it comes off as very transactional.
So the takeaway is if you're a dude out there listening to this and you got a wife, don't bring her to the MMA.
I mean, you shouldn't go to places where you look completely like outclassed. And honestly, like if my wife wants to do jujitsu, we're gonna do it together. Now, I happen to have done jujitsu for 8 years, so
You
you're
might
gonna
just
have
get
a little
you might
bit.
get
Of,
a, you might get a
you're
female
gonna have a
trainer,
little
though.
trouble tying me in knots.
You get a
No, I'm not
female trainer.
Yeah, if you're a black belt, you're gonna be able to tap me out. I'm not saying you wouldn't, but I'm saying like I'm gonna put up a little bit of a fucking fight. But I'm not gonna let you go. If you're my girl, you're not going to a jiu-jitsu class without me to get tapped out by fucking dudes all over I don't care how insecure you think that makes you feel. I don't want dudes rubbing all over you. I'm sorry. It is not other men's fault to not hit on. It's not other men's job to not hit on your girl. You guys understand that? Other men are going to hit on your girl. You guys want to date attractive women. Dudes are going to sneak in their DMs.
Oh, totally.
You understand that. It is your girl's job to protect the sanctity of her mouth, her nipples, her vagina, and her butthole. That is her job to protect that sanctity. And by the way, in the comments, it's going to be like, well, isn't it the man's job to protect his sanctity? Yes, it is. But no one's trying to grab my butt. I'm not, unless I'm in the Castro or West Hollywood, no one's trying to grab my butt when I go out. It is so much harder for a man to get sex, even a high status man to get sex than the average woman.
And I'll take it a step further. For the guys that are dating a girl that is constantly entertaining all these guys that are sliding in the DMs,
Yes.
entertaining the guys that are hitting on her at the club.
Yes.
That is not on your girl. That is on you because you are making the decision to date a girl that's doing that to you.
So if it claps back,
I wouldn't
on
date a
you,
girl that does that.
Correct.
That
right.
wouldn't be my girl.
But here's the funny thing. When I meet a girl like that, immediately I'm thinking friend zone. Invite her to every party, wing girl, teammate, fucking hookup, homie. That's all I'm thinking. It's like when I meet a girl like that, I'm like, high stimulus woman, terrific friend, terrible to date. Maybe you and your girl could have a threesome with her, but you're not going to date a girl like that. You're going to date a girl who, like, the ultimate happiness for her is you in bed with her, watching Netflix, eating popcorn, and she's snuggled up next to you, and like that's her 10 out of 10 experience. That's the woman you want to be with. And I know a lot of women are
The
out there
nurse
like,
from Idaho.
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of women out there. They're like, well, no, I don't need a man. I don't want that. I want to. That's fine. You can feel that way, but that's not conducive to a really healthy relationship. For you to need stimulus outside the relationship. And by the way, it's not healthy for a man either. A man who's watching pornography, constantly going to strip clubs or paying prostitutes, that's a recipe for disaster in a relationship. I'm saying it's the same for both. The best way for a relationship to work is that the two of you are getting your stimulus from each other, not from external factors. Does that make sense? And so that's why I always say, like, you ask yourself when you're dating a girl, if Chris Brown messaged your girl, how likely would she be to message back? There's some guys out there who be like 100% of women, 100% of the time would message back Chris Brown. That's not true. I know a bunch of girls who wouldn't, because it's like the dude is he's kind of gross. And so they kind of get that. It's like some women actually grew up with fathers and they're like, oh wait, Chris Brown's the dude.
Maybe use Drake. Drake as an example.
Well, no, but I'm going to use Chris. Well, yeah, okay. Drake is like a better example. But like with Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna. We keep forgetting that. He beat her senseless. If you've seen the photos, and like women continually wanting to kiss and make out with this dude, like that shows me you have a very, very low standard and low self-esteem. If you find a dude who beat the shit out of Rihanna to be attractive, that's on you. And I'm not trying to judge you. I just don't want to date you. That's what it tells me.
Yeah. Why do you think a lot of girls say they like nice guys? But the truth is they don't all like nice guys. Nice guys don't always win the game.
You should see the super viral video that Dr. Orion Taraban made, and it's called The Part That Women Leave Out. And so the way I like to describe this, and he has a great description of this, is women will say, I want a man who's more vulnerable, who's nice, who's kind, who reads books, buys me flowers, and loves his mom. But what she really means is I want a man I'm attracted to be nice, to be more vulnerable, to buy me flowers, to love his mom. That what she leaves the attractive part out. And the reason why is women can not conceive of being attracted to a man they're not attracted to. So they assume attraction, and then afterwards, once they have the man that they're attracted to, then they want him to read more books, to volunteer, to be kinder, to be nice. And so what'll happen is you'll have a woman, she'll come on the show, say you have a girl comes on the show, she's a huge model or whatever, she's like, I just want a guy who's nice and kind and buys me flowers. Now all these scrubs are on IG and they're like, I'm nice, I'm kind, I'll buy you flowers right now. Why aren't you dating me? And it's because she leaves the part out. It's like, I also need to be attracted to him. And then you ask women, what are you attracted to? And then they say this nonsense about nice and kind and whatever. Then you dump all that. The quickest way to learn about people is to stop listening to them. People get super upset when I say the quickest. If you want to understand women, just stop listening to them. If you want to understand your business partners, stop listening to them. Just pay attention to their actions. So how can we do that? There's a whole study on this. Just open a book on evolutionary psychology. It will go over what are the things that women find attractive in anonymous surveys, 50, 60,000 women. They'll survey these women and they'll go over the same things: relevancy, competency, access to scarce resources, networks, locations, humor, charisma, pre-selection, and social proof. Or what pre-selection, say mate choice copying in humans, or social proof. That's what women find attractive. But women will never describe that to you because it's like a fish trying to explain to you what water is. And women are never going to explain to you how men can make them more attractive, because a deer is not going to explain to you how to catch a deer. And it really sucks because, like, the Sadia Khan thing is a great example. You're taking advice from a woman on how to attract women. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
It's very difficult.
I had a female dating coach that basically coaches men on how to pick up girls, and she's a female. I had her on the show a couple weeks ago, and I was ripping on some stuff, and she was pulling back a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very difficult. Like, there are, like, Kezia Noble absolutely knows what she's talking about. There are female dating
They know what they're
coaches.
talking about.
They
Yeah.
know what they're talking about, but they say things that are horribly offensive to women when they hear it, because women don't like this idea that you could, like, for instance, dude, women are attracted to narcissists. They just are. Women are like, no, those are unhealed women. Stop it. Ladies, stop saying those are unhealed women. Those are just women. All of you dated a dude who was an asshole at some point in your life. Stop lying. Stop saying it's unhealed women. It's not. It's just women find these characteristics of men going their own way, or men having a high self-esteem, or men being able to not be manipulated, or men having strong boundaries. They find those men to be attractive. Now, here's where the misconception happens. What men think that, so I'm a man. I keep listening to women say, I like guys who are nice, buy me flowers, vulnerable, whatever. And I continue to be nice, vulnerable, and buy girls flowers, and women don't choose me. Okay, now I'm starting to get bitter. I'm starting to get upset. Why is this not working for me? And then I keep listening to those women talk about the men they sleep with, and they keep saying, I dated a narcissist. This guy was an asshole, blah, blah, blah. So now here I am, this young, impressionable guy. I was nice. Girls didn't pick me. I keep hearing that guys need to be assholes, blah, blah, blah. So maybe I need to become an asshole. No, that's also a misconception. What you need to be is a man with boundaries. You need to be a man who cannot be manipulated. So one of the reasons why I created my course in the first place is I am incapable of abuse. I will not abuse a woman. If you don't like me.
I've never put my hands on a woman.
For sure. Well, but I'm not even talking about physical abuse, like verbal abuse. I am incapable of it. I know some guys are like, you got to put those hoes in those 304s in their place. I'm like, no, if I need to put a girl in her place is not with me. Her place is me buying her a bus ticket back to where she came from. That's her place.
I've done that before.
For sure.
I was out in Catalina on my boat last year, and this is before I started dating my ex. But go out there with her, and Catalina, you go out there. There's about 300 other boats. Nice little island. It was beginning last summer in 2024, and we're going out to eat. And this is like middle of the trip, and one of my buddies out there with a group of his friends, and she starts mouthing off to some of the girls at the dinner table.
Yeah,
that's a hard no for me. And these are like my friends, right? I went to college with some of these girls. They're like super cool, and they're like heated. They're like getting after this girl. And so I told my buddy Dave, I said, Dave, my apologies. This is on me. I'm gonna take her back to my boat, and I'll come back out later. That's on me. I apologize for bringing her to dinner. So I take her back to the boat. We're getting onto the tender, and she's like, this girl's wasted. She's had way too many drinks. She's in high heels. Slips getting on the tender, goes completely into the tank. And I'm like, oh my gosh, pull her back up. And I already knew right then and there, I'm like, I'm sending this girl home. But I'm just not going to tell her until the morning. So I take her back to the boat. She showers, cleans up. First thing in the morning, she wakes up. I said her name. I'm not going to say her name. The first thing, she wakes up in the morning. And I said, hey, there's no hard feelings. I had a great time with you.
Yes.
But what happened last night is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
I got you a ferry ride home on the next ferry. Pack up your bags. We're going to go to shore. We'll get some coffee. I'm going to walk to the ferry. There's no hard feelings. Dropped her off. I texted 2 more girls. One of them was my ex that I ended up dating for a while. I texted another girl, invited them both out on the ferry. One was like, hey, the one I actually wanted to come out was like, I want to come, but I got to move some stuff around my schedule. I'll let you know later. The other one was the girl that I actually ended up dating. She ended up coming out, and next thing you know, we ended up dating for a year and some change.
Yeah.
We just split up, and now I'm back in the game. But to your point, you gotta put the boundaries up, and your way of basically zoning these girls out is just saying no. That's it. And guess what? That girl will probably never do that again.
Yeah, well,
Never do that
and she may learn the lesson, even though she's not going to date you. She may learn the lesson like going forward. But it's like it's one of these things where there's no hard feelings. I have never. If you go on my Access Vegas, they're like, Michael's a red pill content creator. I've never called a girl a 304, a bitch, a hoe. I've never used any pejorative like that when describing a woman. I am incapable. Like I remember the first time there was a girl. I thought she was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen in Las Vegas. She ends up dating a male stripper, moving to Australia with this dude, having a baby with him. While she's delivering the baby, he's out cheating on her with some other girl, comes back to the States. We're at a restaurant one time and she's crying. She's like, I can't believe he cheated on me. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, you dated a male stripper and you can't believe he cheated on you? And I remember there's the first time I was absolutely turned off by a woman accepting that level of abuse in her life. If a woman needs abuse to be happy, meaning she's just one fuckboy after narcissist after felon, I'm not interested in dating you. I have enough self-esteem to not want to date you, no matter how attractive you are. I'm not interested in that. So the thing is, what was said before is like I'm incapable. I don't have the time in my day because I run 2 businesses to give you the verbal abuse you need in order to feel stimulated and happy. So I'm not going to date you. So what'll happen is I wanted to create a program where guys could still be nice guys, good guys, support charities, still love their girlfriend, buy their girlfriend flowers, be a gentleman,
but still be attractive to those women.
But still be attractive to women. So how was I able to do it? I was able to do it with relevancy, competency, access to scarce resources, networks, locations, charisma, humor, pre-selection, and social.
Okay, I want to break those down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said this earlier. A woman does not want a man who cheats, but she wants a man who could. I'm good to the women that I date. I let them see when we go out into public situations, other women come up to me. She's clearly aware other women find me attractive.
Yep.
And when that happens,
You're sought after.
she still finds me interesting, attractive, alluring without me being an asshole. And then we get into a situation like you said before, where she steps outside of the boundaries of the relationship. I'm like, hey, I understand that you felt the need to do that, but if you do that again, I just need you to know we're not going to be together. And she can tell because she's seen all the other women who are attracted to me that I mean what I'm saying. And when that happens, now all of a sudden she can be feminine. She understands like, okay, this guy's going to lead. She understands I'm with a dude who has options. And because of that, all of a sudden all that trouble goes away. If you understand how to generate genuine desire in a woman, she becomes the least expensive, least delusional, most sexual, most submissive woman you've ever met in your life.
If you can what? Say that again?
If you can generate genuine desire in a woman, she becomes the least expensive, least delusional, most sexual, most submissive woman you've ever met in your entire life.
And you could almost argue that you could take the most outgoing, friendly, like party girl that's always needs stimulus, and if she finds you attractive and you win her over, and she desires to be with you, all that stuff goes out the window.
All of it goes out the window.
She's like very submissive.
She's like, I'm a boss bitch and I want to be single forever. What was it? I can't remember. It was Ryan Gosling, the woman he was with. She was like, I don't want to have kids. And then she had 2 babies by Ryan Gosling. And she goes, but I want to have his kids. It's like when she finds you attractive, then if she's genuinely attracted to you, which goes into the other thing is one way you can never generate genuine attraction is by leading with money. If you lead with money, it's like taking steroids. You have to keep taking steroids to stay that big. You have to keep leading with money in order to keep certain girls. And there are certain girls who are absolutely stimulated by just money, but you're not generating genuine desire. Genuine desire is outside of that.
Break that down. Leading with money versus using money as a funnel versus a crutch.
Money as funnel versus money as a crutch. So using money as a funnel is, hey, I have a boat. Come out, bring you and your friends. I've got maybe 4 cool guys hanging out and 12 girls.
I'm hosting a cool event on the water.
I'm hosting a cool event on the water. I'm hosting a charity event, and I'm donating $5,000 to this animal rescue charity, this breast cancer awareness charity, this ALS charity, this 5K walk, or this homeless charity. I'm donating this, and I've rented a place out, and we're going to have a huge event, and we're going to all raise money, silent raffle, help me promote this charity, whatever. I'm using money as a funnel. That's fine. Now here's using money as a crutch. Buying girls plane tickets to come out and see you when you've never gone on a date with them or slept with them or whatever. Buying girls jewelry, buying girls purses, paying their rent, things like this for a woman.
That's sugar daddy stuff.
Yeah, sugar daddy stuff. Any kind of sugar daddy stuff. Correct. Car payments, that kind of stuff. Your wife, you need to pay for. You pay for her car payment, but that's your wife. Your wife gave you children. Your wife has genuine desire for you, hopefully. But the woman that you don't know very well, if you lead with money, it's like, well, I can't get this girl to go on a date with me to this 3-star restaurant, so I have to go to a 5-star restaurant, and then maybe she'll go on a date with you. You're leading with money as a crutch, not as a funnel. Using money as a funnel is incredible. Using money as funnel. So like, for instance, one thing I've seen before is like guys will be like, hey, we're all going to go axe throwing, and you're willing to pay for the axe throwing. Also, make the transaction invisible. So for instance, if I went to dinner with a big group of girls and I happen to pay for it, I'm going to go find the waitress, and they're not going to see me pay for the meal. And when they're like, wait, do we owe you any money? I'm going to be like, no, it's taken care of.
Yeah.
It's just when you hang out with me, things are taken care of.
If I go out with like my guy friends,
Yes.
sometimes if I'm going to take care of the bill,
Yeah.
or even like clients of ours, go out with some investors. If I'm going to take care of the bill, I will always do it on my way to the restroom.
Yes.
And I'll come back, bills aren't taken care of.
Yes,
That's the way to do it.
Taken care. It's not
Yeah.
I pay. Hey, I paid for the bill. You owe me something. It's not that. It's
No.
it was taken care of.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are great energy. Our great energy paid the bill tonight.
Because like money makes people uncomfortable.
Correct. It makes people feel obligated.
The
Yes.
last thing you want at the dinner table when everyone's having fun is all of a sudden people are like, oh shit, the bill's here. It's uncomfortable. What are we going to do? Who's going to pay? Everyone's looking like, no, like people splitting the bills. I'm like, dude, first of all, I don't split the bill. I don't split the bill. And the guy should always pay on the first date.
I had a guy who was really successful at picking up girls from strip clubs. And what he would do is he would go to the strip club and then he'd give his money to some other dude and be like, hey, tell the girl you're paying for my dances, and I'm going to act super innocent, like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then just keep giving the girl money. And the girl was like, this other guy's paying for his dances, but he's not paying for it. And he was able to like pick up a bunch of girls that way because he wasn't leading. He's a strip club,
Yeah.
but he's not leading with money. It was crazy.
It's like, dude, I'm not trying to be here, but these guys just they're hand forcing me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But using money as a crutch, as a funnel, well, the hardest clients that I get, the hardest clients to fix are the ones that are paying prostitutes and then they think they're still good with women. I did an interview at AVN one time, and there were girls that worked at the Bunny Ranch and the Mustang Ranch. So these are legal escorts outside of Clark County. And I would ask them, how many of your clients pay you for sex and still think they're good with women? And they're like, half of them. When you meet a guy who pays women for sex or is a sugar daddy, when I bring him into my program, it's so hard for me to fix him because he's been getting nothing but positive affirmations from women who aren't attracted to him. And so his wiring is crossed up. That's the hardest thing. The second hardest thing is pornography.
I've never been in the strip club thing. So like one of my girlfriends, she was actually hanging out on the boat this past weekend. She's a stripper at one of the local clubs out here, and she's a really cool chick. But she's dealing with dudes that are just throwing money at her every single night. And these guys have no game. And I'm like, dude, like for any like high value man that gets stimulus and has the ability to go attract hotter girls, because let's be honest, a lot of the girls who work at the strip club, they're not that cute. To me, at least, they're not. And so for any high status man or high value man that has the ability to attract better looking women organically, where you don't have to pay them, it's like, why would we go hang out at the strip club? I get zero stimulus from going to the strip club.
Correct.
Zero. So why do guys like the strip club?
It goes, remember the very first thing we talked about, the guys who are haters and victims, and then the guys who like want to follow directions? It's because a lot of times guys are haters because they're victims, but a lot of times guys are haters because you have technology they don't understand. You and I being able to generate genuine attraction with women without using money is a technology that they're unaware of. It looks like magic to them. So because they don't understand it, and here's the other thing. I had, there was these two girls that I ended up dating both of them. They were both like best friends. This is like 20 years ago. One of them was a tall blonde with huge boobs, green eyes, and curly blonde hair. And the other one was a shorter Korean girl with pitch black hair and brown eyes. And they were both 10s. But who did everyone notice first?
The first one.
The tall blonde
Yeah.
with big boobs and blonde hair. So in this analogy, even though they were both beautiful, the shorter girl with black hair, you just noticed her secondly. But when I noticed her, I was like, God damn, this girl's gorgeous. But I didn't see it at first because everyone saw the tall blonde with
And
the green
why
eyes.
is that?
So it's the same thing. It's like in this analogy, the tall blonde is the rich, tall, good-looking guy with money who gets chicks. And so if I'm looking at it, if I'm a man and I'm looking from the outside looking in, all I see is the better looking, richer guy get the girl that I want instead of seeing, so game, like actual game, generating desire with women without using money, it's invisible, bro. And it doesn't have any weight to it. Like it's impossible for me to describe. If you guys saw me have a really successful interaction with a girl in a nightclub, it would look so boring. You'd be like, what was that?
But you're doing it without even thinking about it.
Correct.
And that's the
well, yeah, but
difference.
it's repetition, yeah. But like but you can't see it, Rich. You can't see me do it. Like you can see the end result when I'm with the girl, but like you can't see how I generated attraction without using money. It's foreign to you. But what do you see all the time? You see the guy with money get the girl. That's the big titty blonde.
Yeah.
But what the actual having game is the shorter Korean girl, like, because it's invisible to those guys because they can't see it, and because they can't see it, they don't believe it's real, and so that they're haters towards it. And so now what happens with a guy who spends his entire 20s grinding? He learns SEO, he learns how to write sales copy, he learns how to build a funnel. All he does, stay in his house grinding 60 hours a week, and then all of a sudden now he's wealthy and doesn't know fuck all about women. And so now, what is he? He's a target. When you don't
And
understand,
he's finally in a position to where
Correct.
he's ready to date
yes,
someone
yes.
and bring a female.
When
into his
you're a
life.
man and you only
Yeah.
understand money and you don't understand women, you become a financial target. You don't have bad game, you have negative game.
Ooh.
Good women, because you don't understand anything else. Because you worship at the altar of money, you assume all women do as well. And so now you think that's the only way to really attract women. And so now you get into a really messed up situation where it's like, okay, I want to date this really pretty girl. Okay, what does general dating, like, matchmakers are the worst, bro. I just don't understand why guys go to matchmakers. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like it's young, attractive women only looking for rich men. I don't understand this shit.
Or even you can even argue like the online dating apps. I'm like, I don't know why.
Those are the worst,
Why
yeah.
do men go to that?
The
I'm
average
like,
man,
no,
on,
thank you.
The average man on a dating app gets 6 matches for every 1,000 right swipes.
Damn.
69% of men report when they meet up with a girl getting into a non-romantic platonic relationship with them. So you're literally getting 6 matches for every 1,000 right swipes, and 2/3 of them you're getting friend zoned. What a great deal. Here's the thing: the top 10% of men get 100 matches for every 1,000 right swipes. The average woman gets 100 matches for every 1,000 right swipes. So I want you to consider this: the top 10% of men equals the average woman on a dating app.
I'd be curious, what are the girl to guy ratios on these dating apps?
For Tinder, it's 9 men for every 1 woman.
No, are you serious?
Yes.
Get out of here.
And then it's more like 7 to 2 for like Hinge or whatever, but it's still a ridiculous number of men.
Damn.
And then you remember
they don't position the marketing that way.
Ashley Madison.
So they're making all their money off the dudes.
Yes, of course. Ashley
Damn,
Madison.
That's crazy.
Ashley Madison was 50 guys for every woman. There was no women out actually on Ashley Madison.
Oh my
It was all
gosh.
fake. And also a lot of the
And
women.
they're just killing it with the premium and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. This is a great study
Yeah.
went out where they actually looked at the likelihood. So you know how there's like super likes or send a
Yeah.
girl a rose. There's these things where you can pay more money
To get
in
more
a dating app
to get
and
more
then,
eyeballs.
And then, but you send a girl a super like.
Yeah.
Do you understand that the likelihood of you getting a match normally was 2%? If you send a super like, it's 1%. You actually cut your likelihood of
Why
getting
is
a
that?
match in half because you look desperate as shit. You said this guy sent me a rose and a super like. I mean, like Chad Thundercock over here. He just right swipes. He doesn't write anything in his bio, and she just likes his shit. But this other guy is like sending a super rose, super like whatever. Like, you just look desperate. So you're paying money to dating apps to look worse to women.
And not only that, but it's like if you're doing the online dating stuff, it's a second full-time job, and the time commitment where you can reallocate that time into working on yourself,
Oh my God.
building your own shit, building your own stuff, and leveling up in the freaking game. That's what's going to attract those females.
So on a scale of 1 to 10.
Come on, bro.
A scale of 1 to 10.
Come on.
0 being not talking to women at all.
Okay.
And 10 being like you have a massive social circle where you do nothing and women just come to your place all the time and women are just like competing for your attention. Dating apps are a -3. Like, they're actually worse than not talking to women, because there's 4 types of women you meet on dating apps. You meet mentally ill women. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of really hot girls who have like borderline personality disorder and can't maintain a relationship or a job. You meet women who are trying to get you to go down their sex funnel, so their OnlyFans funnel or Sex Panther or whatever.
Yeah. How many do you think, what percentage of females on these apps have an OnlyFans?
The ones that get the most right swipes, I'd say 50% of them, more than that. The third type of woman is just outright prostitution. And then the fourth type of woman is a good woman, but she has 4 kids, she's been divorced, and she's in her 40s. Those are the 4 types of women that you're going to meet on these dating apps. Guys, I just don't understand. I've done video after video. I'm going to do one tonight when we do the bikini fashion show. I'm going to interview all the girls. How'd you meet the last 5 guys that you dated? And have you ever met a guy on a dating app? Attractive young women don't need dating apps. There's no such thing as an attractive young woman actually looking for men on dating apps.
And I'll take it a step further. Any high value, high status man also does not need dating apps.
Correct. He doesn't need dating apps, but if you're a good-looking dude and you're high status, you can get on dating apps, you will get a lot of matches. But with those four types
With
of girls
that are 3 levels
yeah,
down.
so it's going to be
that are
like
not
super hot
with
girls
girls
with
that
mental
have
disorders.
no business talking to you.
Yeah, mental disorders, stuff like that. Like borderline personality disorder, I think it's like 5.9% of the female population has that, and that's a seriously big problem for guys. And about 40% of
So if you're
women,
if you're a dude listening to this podcast right now, and you're on a dating app, do yourself a favor, delete it, and go reallocate that time
Yeah,
towards
dude,
yourself. Invest in yourself, level up, and learn the freaking game.
reallocate your time to the number one dating app in the world, which is Instagram. It's undoubtedly Instagram. This is another part that really irks people the wrong way. I'm a retired U.S. military officer. Do you think I want to be on Snapchat? Fuck no. Do you think I want to use all these filters on Instagram and post story? I don't want to do this. Why do I do it? Because I'm a whore to what works. If you are, let's say you are a cold approach pickup artist and your game is 10 out of 10. You go out you pick up girls at clubs all the time. It's amazing. Well, the problem is hot girls aren't going to clubs anymore. They aren't. They just aren't. Nightclubs are shutting down. 5 a week are shutting down in London. The nightlife scene in Los Angeles is completely
In
gone.
Vegas, it's not what it once was.
It's not what it once was, but it's still better than any other city
Yeah.
in the country. Maybe Miami would be second. But like hot girls are generally just not going to clubs, or if they are, they're not in places where you can approach them. So you're 10 out of 10 cold approach pickup artists. There's maybe, anywhere between 20 and 50 girls you can see. I'm half as good as you. I'm 50% as good as you, but I'm on social media. My social media is still 100,000 times more scalable than your cold approach. So my bad social media is better than you good in real life. And it's just math.
What kind of lever does a good social media do for a dude?
What does it do for a dude?
A good social media presence for a
Infinite
dude.
dates, infinite attraction. Like you potentially. So the way you fix your social media, we have 3 types of photos we show, which is the lifestyle photo, you in front of something cool, the boat, the Grand Canyon, the Burj Khalifa, the Eiffel Tower, whatever. The Burj Khalifa, I'm a thought. So I can't, don't say that out loud, bro. You will never be allowed in Dubai. No, I love, Dubai is an unbelievable place, but like for women to go there single, like it's not a good sign. So it's not, if you're, ladies, by the way, if you're watching this right now and you have pictures of yourself by yourself in Ibiza, Dubai, Burning Man, Art Basel, any of those places, and you're by yourself, please, if you have any intention of ever getting married to any kind of high status man, take those photos down immediately. Take them down immediately. If you want to take pictures in Dubai, do it with your mom and dad. Like you need to have family members with you, your fiance or something, by yourself. Please listen to what I'm saying.
Otherwise, it shows that what?
Well, there's no high status dude is going to want to be with a girl who does that. Yeah. So
I agree with that.
Okay, so as a man, this is one of the most controversial things that I say, and I will defend this. I will debate any one of you on this. As a man, my sexual market value is defined by the number of attractive women that will have sex with me. As a woman, your sexual market value is defined by how many high status men, or rather the highest status man that will commit to you.
That's powerful. Dude, I haven't heard it broken down that way. Say that one more time, because that's very powerful. Say it one more time.
As a man, my sexual market value is defined by the number of attractive women that will have sex with me. As a woman, your sexual market value is defined by the highest status man that will commit to you.
Bro, that's so good.
But it's so difficult
That's
because
so good. I've never heard anyone say that before. It's so good.
As women want to take on attributes, like these masculine attributes, are like, well, no, my sexual market value is defined as a woman by how many high status dudes I can get to have sex with me. I'm like, that's not that.
Commit.
Come
off the market.
There's nothing in the world.
There's a big difference between having a one night stand and getting a guy to commit and come off the market and say, yo, this is my girl.
Yes, there's like, for instance, there's nothing in the world that requires less force than a woman getting sex. So like that's not a flex for you to be able to get a bunch of sex. Like no, I had a group of girls on my show. I had 10 girls on my show last Wednesday, and I was like, guys, Drake would have sex with all of you. He would. I'm like, that's not a flex to get Drake to have sex with you. That's not the thing. But can you get a high status man to commit to you?
Can you get Drake to marry you?
Yeah, there was this one video where this girl's like, I can only date guys over 6'3". My last 2 boyfriends were 6'2", and I'm like, yeah, that's why they dumped you. Because you're a low status woman who believes that you can get these men to commit, and you can't. You can't get them to commit. And so women will do this thing where they're like, well, I define my status based on 2 things, how many guys I can have sex with, or I define my status based on myself. I think I'm a 10, therefore I'm a 10. Can you imagine if I went to the Padres tonight and be like, I think I'm your shortstop, so I'm going to play shortstop? They would kick me out of the building. As a man, I do not have the privilege to define my own status. And as a woman, you don't have the privilege to define your own sexual market value. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road, and a lot of people are going to be confused by
So
this.
good. Megan, plug your ears.
Your value as a human is not defined by your sexual market value. It's not. If a woman saved my niece or daughter's life who was a cardiologist and performed surgery on my daughter, that woman has incredible value to the world. That woman could be mayor. That woman probably makes a great deal of money, but it doesn't make me more sexually attracted to her. Do you see the difference? So here's this massive double standard, biological double standard between men and women. As a man, if I am quarterback of a football team, a famous cardiologist, a professor at professor at a prestigious university, if I'm a famous actor, movie star, whatever, the things that make me viable professionally also make me attractive to the opposite sex. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like Tom Brady can be a great quarterback, which makes him a lot of money and also make him attractive to women. Make sense how both of those things? Now, if I'm a female cardiologist, a WNBA player, I'm a female actress, or maybe not actress, because actresses might be really attractive. But if I'm a female, any one of these
It could work
things,
against you.
If I'm a female athlete, if I'm a female cardiologist, if I'm a female professor, the things that make me attractive to the opposite sex are different from the things that make me make me viable professionally. I think Caitlin Clark is awesome to watch. She hits threes from so far out. I think she is incredible to watch.
I can recognize her as a badass in her
She's
craft.
incredible.
But are men attracted to her physically?
No, but
that's a
that
different
doesn't
question.
make me attracted to her.
Right.
I think Caitlin Clark was watching, girl, you
'Cause
are incredible to watch.
It's masculine energy,
Yes.
too.
Asia Wilson is unbelievable basketball player for a woman. She's terrific to watch. But I don't find her sexually attractive because she can dunk. That doesn't make me sort of more sexually attracted to her. So
Like, how about like this is a good one, like Layla Hermosi.
Yeah.
She's like CEO, acquisition.com. She's doing all this content. She's running the whole freaking business, and she's putting out all this business content.
Yeah.
Can I admit and can I identify that she's a badass? Yes, she is. Her content's good. She's a badass. But is that masculine energy attractive to high status men?
Well, I'm gonna have the minority
yeah.
thing there. I like girls with muscles, so I think Layla
Really?
Hermosi is very attractive.
Really?
But I think she's attractive separate from the fact that she's a boss girl.
You like the deep voice too?
Okay, she probably abused Anna Barr at some point, but like if I ignore the deep voice, I think she's pretty. I think she's attractive. We can sit here and be like, she's not attractive. Most guys will never date a girl as attractive as Layla Hermosi. You understand that? Probably the 10th hottest girl you've ever dated, 99% of men will ever date someone that. So even when you call them ugly, what does it matter? And also, the other thing I really do find attractive about Layla Hermosi is how down she is for her man.
I do love that.
Bro,
I do love
the
that.
fact
She's
that
ride
she
or
is
die.
willing to go to
I think
war
that-
for her man
is hot.
so attractive
That
to
is
me.
hot.
That is hot, for
Yeah.
sure. The fact that she's running ads for her man, she supports her man. I just figure if I'm Alex Hermosi and I'm like, yo, man, I don't feel like going to work today. Layla's like, get up, you bitch. It's time to work. That is attractive to me, for sure.
Hey guys, if you're looking to get into real estate investing, but you're like, hey, I don't have the time, but you want to participate in the passive income, the tax benefits, and the wealth building, my company, Summers Capital, partners with limited partners, people like yourself, and we go out and buy boutique hotels. We have a fund where we currently own 5 hotels, and we currently have a wait list for investors to participate with us. If you want to learn more to see if this is a fit for you, you can go to summerscapital.com/invest to inquire and get on our wait list and be notified next time we have an opportunity. Again, summerscapital.com/invest. Now back to the show.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a whole other type of woman out there that, is submissive, feminine energy, just wants to support her man and, wants to stay at home, raise the kids and just have babies and is in full support of what's going on in the business, wants to hear how your day went, is in full support of helping you grow the business because that's a big function of it, is having someone that's going to take care of the house, take care of the kids and support you emotionally. Then that's to me, that's
Rich,
hot. That's what I want.
I was dating an actress once, and she saw some of the content that I wrote on some of the content I said on YouTube, and her mom was like, I don't like this stuff that he's talking about, using the close friends list, and if a girl stands you up, post pictures of you out having fun or what. She's like, I don't like this. This is toxic. And she's like, yeah, I don't like this stuff that you post on YouTube. And I'm like, you didn't have a problem when I took you to Cancun. That's how I make my money. You didn't have a problem with it. And I'm like, you're an actress. Is everything you say on the screen literally the truth? She's like, well, no. It's like, so you're literally criticizing me for what I say on camera when what you say on camera is like objective fiction. Like, do you understand how hypocritical that sounds? When I take you to Mastro's, you don't have a problem with what I do for a living, but you have a problem now. Like, that was, to me, I was like, yo, this is not going to work. And off to Ireland you go. Like, I was, bro, that was really pissed me off.
Why didn't it work with your ex-girlfriend, the 22-year-old that was bisexual?
She's an incredible woman. I want to say nothing but positive things about her. We came to an agreement where she really didn't like being in Las Vegas. There was a lot of stimulus. Everywhere we'd go out, there'd be pretty girls that would come up and talk to me. And she just wasn't happy. And I helped her move back to Houston. We talk on a regular basis. We're definitely very good friends. And I wish her nothing but the best, and she's going to accomplish anything she wanted. She just wasn't fully in support of what I do for a living. And she wasn't happy. She was tolerant of it, but she wasn't happy. And I just like nothing but the best. We talk all the time. But it just wasn't working out the way things were.
The way it should.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long did you guys date?
A year and 10 months.
And so, for you, obviously you're growing your brand. And as we grow, the woman in the red dress gets hotter and hotter, and you get more and more options, more high value options. And so, curious for you, like, because I just went through a breakup. You were dating for almost 2 years. Now all of a sudden you're single, back in the game. What was the difference or the takeaway being single this time around versus last time around 2 years prior?
Yeah,
Did you notice a big difference?
I know a little bit more about what I want. Now, I'm going to say this is another controversial thing. Men need experience with women to get better at dating. Women do not need experience with men to get better at dating. What women need is other people to look at their relationship externally, granddad, grandma, uncle, brother, people who have no sexual interest in this relationship and say, baby, this is toxic, don't do this. When women date more to get better at dating, they tend, not always, tend to become a little bit more cynical and bitter. That's not good for a relationship. When men date more, they become more experienced and they're like, oh, okay, I can see the red flags. It's Tom Brady after 22 years. Okay, this is cover 2. This is how I beat cover 3. This is how I beat man coverage. This is how I beat the zone blitz. Like, they've seen it all. If you're a man, you don't need to sleep with 50 women before you get married, but you need 50 women to want to sleep with you. And you need to, because I have some clients that are very religious and they don't want to have sex before marriage. I totally respect that. But you do need experience with women to understand women. You don't need experience with men for a woman to become better at dating, especially because your femininity and innocence are one of the main reasons why men pick you in the first place. And so that's another one that's really, really controversial.
Well, and it's also why I think women that are in their 20s are more sought after than women that are in their 30s and 40s.
You have a longer reproductive lifespan. Like, it's just, that's just an evolutionary thing.
And I mean, for me, like, I just turned 40 and, I'm recently single. I want to have a family. I want to have 3 to 4 kids. And so I can't physically date a woman that's my age.
Yeah, it won't work. Yeah, it's not
It just won't work.
And it's offensive when you say that, because these women...
Even a woman that's 32, it's just not going to work.
These women
and
who
so from that standpoint, knowing that I want to have a family, I want to have 3 or 4 kids, and I want to raise a cool family, and knowing that's something of importance to me, I have to date a woman that's between the ages of 22 to 28.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So what's happened recently...
And why is that offensive to people?
Yeah, so what's happened...
I don't understand. Why is that offensive to people?
What's happened recently...
To me, it's common sense.
It's them watching... Jennifer Aniston. She's like, I'm freezing my eggs, these embryos. Same thing with Paris Hilton, freezing their eggs so that they can have children later on, not understanding that this IVF treatment is $200,000-$300,000. And it's very unlikely you've lost 95% of your eggs by the time you turn 35. So like women don't understand this concept, and then they see like that. You remember that show Suits? You remember with it was Harvey Specter was like the main character. One of the characters on there, her name was Sheila Zass, and she had her first kid at 51. And so like everyone's like, oh, I see this on TV, so I can have my first kid at 51, not understanding the likelihood of you being able to do that is so incredibly low. But because it's this
and that's just if you want to have one kid.
Standard.
I want to have 3 to 4.
Yes, if you want to have 3 to 4
what's
kids,
going to happen with kid number 2, 3, and 4?
Statistically, it's if you want to have more kids,
they're going to be 62.
Then it would need to be younger. Yeah, and it's and like again, I'm not saying this because this is my opinion though.
Yeah.
And I know some people are going to get super.
But who
upset
gets
about
offended
this.
by that?
Older women. Yeah, generally older women and men who are like white knight men.
Do you think women that are 35 and single, they're 35 and single for a reason?
Yeah, well, listen, you could be 35 and single because you were a good wife and your husband cheated on you and you broke up with him.
Yeah.
That does happen sometimes.
That does happen.
I absolutely have seen it. I meet some women who are 35. 2 of my best friends turned 40 in the last couple months. See, Kindly Myers is turning 40 on in September, and CJ Sparks turned 40 last month. And neither of them have kids, and they're very happy, and they're two of my closest friends. And they both have tried to be in relationships, and it just didn't work. Well, actually, Kindly is happily married. She's been married for a few years now.
What do you think, Oscar? Do you think if a woman is 35 and single, there's a reason for it?
Yeah, for sure. I think they either have too picky or their standards are off the charts. Just going back to the idea of like women sometimes want this much, so much high, 6'3", millionaire, but they don't do none of that.
Yeah.
And they can't attract it. They want what they can attract.
The thing is, they can sleep with him. They can't get him to commit, and they don't understand the difference.
And when they can sleep with them, that makes them believe that they can get him to commit.
Yeah, like when they can't, exactly. They believe that one leads to the other.
And when that guy hits them up once a month and it's 2 o'clock in the morning,
well,
they think, oh,
he's thinking about
Here's
where the confusion comes. Most men that they would choose to sleep with would commit to them. They're right, but they're not attracted to those men. Most men who right swipe on dating apps probably would date them and commit to them. Most men would commit to these women, but the average woman is not interested in the average man, but the average man is very much interested in the average woman. The problem is because most men would commit to them if they slept with them, they think this top 2% of men that they're chasing after, if they slept with those guys, they'd be like, well, my vagina is made of gold. Obviously, this guy's going to commit to me. And of course, it doesn't happen. And the reason why, and they don't understand the simple function of economics, is because if you think he's attractive, other women think he's attractive, and he has options.
Yeah.
And
it all comes down to options.
But here's the thing, it doesn't go like this. It's not a straight line. It's not like I have 2 options, I have 4 options, I have 6 options, I have 8 options. It's like I have 0 options, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And once I get past like the 60th percentile, it's like I have 7 dates a week, 14 dates a week. Hundreds of girls want to date me. It's like this. It's nothing, 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 and then it's all at once. It's what I call the status poverty line.
Yeah, break that down. What is the status poverty line?
So it's this point where like you have so many options with women, you don't know what to do with yourself. And this is just you being in shape, having like a little bit of notoriety, being like on a scale of 1 to 10, you're like level 2 famous, like just having a little bit of going on for you. You don't hit on every woman you see. You friend zone hundreds of girls. You have a ton of female friends. You're the leader of your social circle. You're in shape. You have a functioning business. You show some level of competency and relevancy. You just do those things, and you're charismatic, and you understand how to be chill around women instead of like acting like a monkey. When you're one of those guys, it's like now you literally don't have enough days in the week to go on all the dates that you can go on. If you're below that level, you'll still get 1 or 2 dates. You still will. Like there's this one guy, he wrote an article about me saying that I believe in the 80-20 rule. I do not. I do not believe 80%.
It's more like 90-10.
No. So it's 90-10 when it comes to attraction.
It might even be 99-1.
No, okay.
Would
so
you
I've
agree?
heard this before. So it is it 99% of women find 1% of men attractive? That's not quite true. It's probably, do 80% of men find 20%, 80% of women find 20% of men attractive? Yes, but they're not sleeping with them. Like what I'm saying is it doesn't make sense.
But they would.
Mathematically. They would, yes.
In the
but
right
they're not.
scenario.
So because of this function called assortative mating, the 80-20 rule is not true. The 80-20 rule is true when it comes to attraction and hypergamy, but it's not true when it actually comes to sexual intercourse. So, but what is happening is there is another way to look at it is there's a bottom third of men who are getting almost no sex. Maybe a bottom quarter who's getting no sex, and a bottom third that are getting maybe 1 or 2 sexual partners every 2 years, and they're still super frustrated when it comes to women. Okay, so I think that's pretty legitimate. Mack and Murphy says the bottom third of men do not get to contend in short-term dating whatsoever, right? They have to wait till the woman's 30 and then hopefully get to marry her.
Say that one more time. 1/3 of men do not have the option for short-term dating.
Yeah, so about the bottom third of men do not have any options.
They'll never have a one-night stand.
Correct. They might get married, but they're going to get married to a woman who's like had her wild moments, had her fun, and then when she's 30, she's like ready to settle down. Sheryl Sandberg has this great quote. I think it really illustrates what women believe. Is like she says, in the beginning, date all the bad boys. Date the fun ones, the sexy ones. Date the ones that are troubled.
Get it out of your system.
You get it out of your system. But when you're older, you'll date the guy who like thinks it's sexy to take out the trash. And I'm like, I'm supposed to wait, Sheryl Sandberg? I'm supposed to wait till you're done having all your fun in your 20s? I'm supposed to sit there and wait? Fuck that. I'm not waiting. I'm not going to wait. When you're in your fun period, everything, I'm going to say this right now. Anything you would do if you were out with Drake, you're going to do with me. And if you aren't, then you're not going to be my girlfriend. Whatever superstar treatment you give to the highest status, most attractive girl or most attractive man, I'm getting that. And it's fine if you don't want to give it to me. You're just not going to be my girlfriend. I'm only going to be with someone who has genuine desire for me. As men, we have so little self-esteem. Men act like they're worthless. You don't believe me? OnlyFans made $6.6 billion in revenue. Men feel like they're worthless.
Who was the top girl recently that
Sophie
earned like
Raines.
fucking like
Sophie
LeBron-
Raines made $84 million in 2
more than
years.
LeBron James?
No, she was just less than LeBron. She made $55 million in a year. LeBron
On
made like
OnlyFans.
56. Yes.
When you go on a first date, do you expect the woman to sleep with you on the first date?
So there's nothing wrong with a woman not sleeping with a guy on the first date. That's normal. If I have a daughter, I would expect her to not sleep with a guy on a first date. But there's nothing wrong with a woman sleeping with me on the first date, because a woman sleeping with me on the first date, that just means she has good taste. I'm not like other dudes. I hate to say it, and I don't mean to be arrogant, but I'm not like other dudes. I would expect a woman who's never slept with a guy on a first date to sleep with me on the first date, because I know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to. Dude, I hate this. I don't mean to be an asshole, but the thing is, because I understand every single evolutionary attraction trigger. Because I am Tom Brady on Super Bowl #7. Like, I've seen everything there is to see. There's no way. Like, I'm not going to meet a girl and be like, oh, blah, blah, or say stupid shit. If I go on a date with a girl, I'm gonna make her laugh till she's pissing herself. And she's going to do 90% of the talking. She's going to be like, this guy's an incredible listener. And then we're going to go back to my place, and it's going to be the most comfortable place she's ever been in her entire life. She's going to be out on my balcony with this unbelievable view. She's going to see all these animals that I've rescued. And if she wants to sleep with me, I'm not going to be surprised. I get it. I understand that. But that's because this is what I've been doing for the last 25 years. No, I am seeing someone right now. I'm not going to say who it is. And I'm not going to go out with girls on dates and have sex with them. But with her, the girl that I'm seeing right now, we were just friends for a while. And then eventually she started to become very attracted to me because she saw other girls that were attracted to me.
And I think it all goes along with your ability to still date a 22-year-old woman at your age. Most guys your age do not have that option.
They don't have that option, or they're like, what would you have in common? It's so weird that you're 40 and you're dating someone in their 20s. What do you have in common? Animal rescue, SEC football, going to the gym. I have a ton in common. Watching my favorite show on Netflix. I have a ton in common. You know what else we have in common? Sex. She likes to have sex with me. I like to have sex with her. That's what I have in common with a 25-year-old. I don't understand why this is so offensive to people.
So what you do is you create a safety environment, a comfortable environment, and you create, I think, an experience for the woman.
Yeah, you create. So you're transmitting a feeling. So if you and I, okay, let's just say you and I go to dinner and we're trying to hire a guy to do copywriting for us, and the guy's super awkward. He maybe even smells a little funny. And he's just weird as shit. And then we look at his metrics, and this guy, like, he ramps up every business he touches by 4,000%.
Yeah.
Do we hire him?
Like Elon Musk.
Yes, we hire him. Why? Because he solves a problem for us. We're men talking to other men. When men communicate with other men, we solve problems. The other day, you're teaching me how to run ads to a webinar. Bro, you and I, whenever we go out, all we do is solve problems for one another. You come on my podcast, I go on your podcast. All we're doing is increasing our reach, solving problems. When men communicate with other men, it's successful men. All we do is solve problems. If you had dinner with me, Dan Fleischman, Ty Lopez, Owen Cook, Justin Waller, if we had a bunch of Patrick Bet-David, we're all sitting there at dinner together. Bill Walsh, Jeremy Minor, Cole Gordon. We're all at dinner together. It's like 16 of us. The conversation is solve problems. All we're doing is
talking about leveling up,
sales funnel, fixing sales team. All we're doing is solving problems.
And when the check comes, what happens?
We're beating the shit out of each other to pay the bill. We're racing to pay the bill. No, there is no way. Like, if you go to dinner with Dan Fleischman, he would never dream of letting you pay. Like, that's one of the things. And I've tricked him before. One time I had to go trick Justin Waller. I distracted him by having a conversation with my date so I could run and go pay the bill before he came back and paid. He was like shocked. He was like, nobody's ever done that.
And on the flip side, when you go to dinner with 7 broke dudes, everyone's pointing at each other.
Everyone's pointing at
who's going to split up the bill.
I'm always
who's going to take care of it.
I always
it
know
gets
I'm
awkward. It gets uncomfortable.
Of course. And I always pay the bill because I don't want it to be awkward in those situations.
But that's how you know you're at the right table.
But my point is, when I'm communicating with men or successful women also, I'm solving a problem. When I'm communicating with women, I'm projecting a feeling. It's very different. If all you do is, when you talk to women, try to solve problems for them, they're not going to find you attractive. If all you do when you talk to women is make them laugh, show some level of charisma, stimulate them, make them, like, listen to them to where they're talking. I love when women get into this thing where they're talking. They start to glow like an ember because they feel they can express themselves. They're having all these feelings, and they become invested in you and find you attractive. If I understand these concepts with women, I understand the problem-solving mechanics that I use to communicate with men are not the ones that I use to communicate with women. What I just described to you is why so many of my clients who are hyper-successful financially are terrible with women. Because they don't understand. I'm speaking the language of logic, deduction, reason, accountability, and problem solving when I'm at work. When I go talk to a woman, if I use logic, reason, accountability, problem solving, and deduction, the girl's like, what is, this guy's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Is he autistic? What's wrong with this dude?
Yeah.
But if I go out on a date with a girl and she finds me abhorrent, not physically attractive whatsoever, and I make her laugh for 90 minutes, she's going to want to go out with me again. Sorry, that's just the truth.
What do you think the reason is that a lot of these guys that are growing their businesses, they become doctors or attorneys, maybe they're high income earners, but then all of a sudden when it comes to game, they got no game? Like what's the difference between a guy that has no game and what makes a guy that actually has game? Because for me, I don't really think about it, right? It's just like, I don't think about it. When I go out with girls, I don't think about what I'm doing. I'm just being me.
Yeah, because you have enough experience. I think that's what it is.
So is it just the reps and the
so I think
at-bats
the reps that you
of just
got,
being around women?
So-
'Cause it's not sleeping with women.
Yeah.
It's just like being around women
Yes.
over and over and over and
So
over.
if I were to describe evolutionary attraction triggers to you and women, they would all make sense to you, but you do them naturally because you do them all the time. Just like when Tom Brady throws a football, it rotates at a certain RPM, but he doesn't need to memorize his RPMs.
He's not thinking about it.
He's not thinking about it. He just knows I got to plant my back foot, throw, and just drill that ball into Amendola as hard as I can. Throw it to Gronk.
Until the
Gronk.
MMA trainer comes into the match.
Great, until the MMA trainer steals my wife. But the thing is, he doesn't think about it like when he's throwing the ball. It's a reps and experience. When I take the guy that you're describing, this is the highly analytical guy, highly financially successful, often Asian or Indian or Eastern European, highly analytical, comes from a highly homogenous society, was taught by mom and dad to care about what everyone else thinks about them. When I take a client who's like that, because he communicates with logic, reason, and accountability, he doesn't know how to project feelings in the opposite sex. So that's why he doesn't have game. And when I speak to him, I keep trying to explain to him, because I'll explain to these concepts to him. Like one of the concepts I explained was, when you have pictures of you with attractive women who look like they approve of you, who look like they are compliant with you, then other women find that attractive. The guy's like, well, that doesn't make any sense because I'm not dating these women. And I'm like, it doesn't have to make sense. You're projecting a feeling. And they're like so frustrated, like, that doesn't make sense. But that's the reason they suck with women, because they need everything to be logical. They need everything to have meaning and to make sense logically. And that's not how it works when you communicate with women. It doesn't. You're just really projecting a feeling. A woman is not even in love with you. She's in love with the feeling that she gets when she's with you. And when she stops having that feeling for whatever reason, you get fat, you lose your boundaries, or you lose all your money, then all of a sudden you grew apart, and 73% of divorces are initiated by
Women.
So
Yeah.
that's essentially why that happens. And so we want to pretend the world is any other way than it is. And everything I've described to you, I can describe to you by showing numerous scientific studies, and yet I will still get comments. Who hurt this guy? Why do you have this piece of shit on your program? Rich, why are you doing this? This guy's a misogynist. I love women. Most of my friends are females. I work with a domestic abuse charity and a breast cancer awareness charity. I love women more than I love men. I am not if you want to believe I'm misogynist, no. What I am is telling the truth. If I tell the truth, I cannot be sexist. The truth cannot be sexist. The truth cannot be racist. The truth cannot be misogynistic. It cannot be.
So I want to get your thoughts on this. I had this male dating coach who happened to be a female on my show a couple of weeks ago. And we had a couple clips that got millions of views. This particular clip got over 6 million views across the different platforms. And she didn't really have a response to it. Because I think I was kind of calling her out in her own way. But what I said was this. I said, if you go to Colombia and you go to some of these other like cities, basically a lot of cities around the world, except for the US, if you go to Medellin, Colombia, you will walk down the streets and you will literally see 9s and 10s on the side of the street, flipping burgers, making tacos, doing janitorial work on the side of the street, smile on their face, don't have anything materialistic, probably live at home with their parents, and literally don't even have a car, and just super grateful to be alive. Big smile on their face, just happy to be alive and grateful. Very approachable. They will entertain guys, very approachable. Now, on the flip side, here in the US, and this is probably the only country that's like this that I've ever been to, you can find girls physically on a scale of 1 to 10, on a 3 or 4, on the bottom half of that scale,
Overweight,
that are overweight, not attractive, and pretentious, hard to approach, very challenging to date, not grateful, not happy, very hard to please as a guy. Why is that? Like, break that down. This is the only place in the world. And like, when I go to these other countries, and this is not Medellin, Colombia. Like, I'm talking Brazil, Australia, Ukraine, Ireland, Hungary, like any of these other places in the world, women are so freaking grateful and happy. But here in the US, girls are not easy to date. Why is that?
So there's this one study. It goes over in I believe this was the results. The conclusion of the study was every single nation where the GDP rises, the birth rate always decreases. So there apparently is no exception to this. So as the standard of living increases in any country, the birth rate decreases. And part of the standard of living increases, especially in a liberal democracy, is women being able to have middle class jobs. All those places that you mentioned, Hungary, Ukraine, Colombia, there is no middle class for women in those countries. And so because of that, they don't have as much upward mobility. So here's the conundrum.
But you
right?
could, Australia could already.
Yeah,
you guys have middle class.
sure, but
Ireland.
they also have a 60% tax bracket. Like they're not as economically viable there. I don't think there is middle class.
Well, my point is the U.S. out of all these countries in the world, the U.S. is the most skewed and the most challenging to please a woman. I'm not saying all women,
Correct.
but I'm saying for a lot of women, generally speaking, and for most of those guys in the middle of the bell curve that you're alluding to, and especially in the bottom half of that bell curve, it's good luck. Good luck.
So I'll explain the difficulty here. There's two forces that are going on here. For women, because 68% of college graduates are female, this has a lot to do with Title IX. It's great. Women are becoming more educated. They have more economic mobility, right? So they have an opportunity to make more money. And when you look at the pay wage gap, it turns out it's just a childcare gap. If you look at women who don't take care of children, they make about the same amount of money as men. They're on the same career trajectory as men.
Sure.
So women are being pushed up by the concepts of employment and education. So they're making more money. So these are upward forces for women. For men, we have downward forces. The downward forces are pornography, sedation, social media sedation, and video game sedation. These men are being sedated, and fewer of them are going to college, so they have less upward financial mobility. So men are being dragged down by these forces, women are being pushed up by these forces, and the way hypergamy works, women only want men who are across or higher than them. And so so just think of these two slides as women go up and men go down.
Fantasy football drags them down too.
Yeah, the fantasy football. The number of men that they can choose from becomes less and less. Dr. David Buss at the University of Texas at Austin writes an essay on this in 2016 about women pricing themselves out of the market. This is before COVID. He writes this. And so now what happens is women start to believe that they can get these men to commit, or it becomes more tenable for them to just say single for their entire life. And on top of the fact that poor eating habits. We have the level of obesity in this country is crazy. 71% of people in this country are overweight. 41% are obese, and the number's higher with women than it is with men.
Do you think that there's more attractive men? Women have more attractive men as options in this country versus other countries, or do you think vice versa?
I think they have men with higher standards of living in this country versus other countries. I definitely think that's the case, and I also think because there's again, you don't. When women say, I don't need a man, well, ultimately, we all need men. Men we have electricity and an infrastructure because of men. Approximately, we don't all need men. A woman can make $300,000 a year, buy a Glock, and have a security guard, and she doesn't need a man. So because that's happened, it's just, imagine how ungrateful you'd be if you grew up as a trust fund kid with $1 billion and every place you went.
That's the worst. That's the number one way to fuck up your kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Is to just give them money.
So you understand, you and I, because we were once poor, and we understand what that was like. Because women didn't choose us in our 20s, we understand what that's like.
I've seen it, bro. 6 years ago, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I was working full time as an air traffic controller, living in a 500 square foot studio, and I didn't have a lot of options.
Yeah. So we have every day I go back and I just think about when
I'm grateful to be
where
alive.
I came from. I'm so grateful, and so because of that thing, that's the reason why we're not spoiled. I can still enjoy barbecue, and I still enjoy listening to my family and watching a funny TV show. I'm not so bougie that I have to fly private all the time or anything like that. I still appreciate the world that I live in. I recognize half the Earth's population lives on $5 a day. Before the year 1850, half the Earth's population died before the age of 5. Before 1937, there were no broad spectrum antibiotics. I come to the realization of how lucky I am to be alive today, and I don't lose that perspective because I was once poor and women didn't choose me. So now if you're a woman, you go through puberty and now everyone chooses you. That's what it's like. It's social media has now amped it up to where it's you have this privilege of believing, and it's not, by the way, it's not just a privilege. It's not just delusion. There's so many men out now that are simps that they are actually they're funding this simp economy. No matter how much we want to complain.
What's a simp economy?
So there's the OnlyFans economy and there's the simp economy.
Okay, what's
the
simp?
OnlyFans economy is women turning towards pseudo sex work in order to make money, and that's growing at a certain rate. There's 1.4 million OnlyFans creators in the United States. The simp economy is growing way greater. The simp economy is that bottom third of men who have no options with dating. They're funding those women on OnlyFans. And so the simp economy is always going to grow faster than the OnlyFans economy. So that's why I tell guys all the time, you're never going to teach these women a lesson. These women are, if a woman's making 50 grand a month on OF, this idea that you think she's going to just go back to being a traditional housewife is absurd. Just accept the world the way that it is. Right? Don't think that you're going to change it. I tell my clients to say this all the time. You're never going to teach these women a lesson. Stop trying to teach women a lesson. Women are going to do whatever they want to do. What you need is have multiple options with multiple women. And then from that group of multiple women, then choose the one that fits your lifestyle the best. And that is generally, like I said before, the one that requires the least amount of stimulus is going to be the one that's going to make you the happiest.
Okay, so I want to get your thoughts on this because I've been on both sides of the spectrum. Do you think that most men in America actually value a woman that is a high income earner, like a doctor, an attorney, someone that makes 200 grand, 300 grand, 400 grand, because together their combined income is going to allow them to go and have more options, travel, take more vacations, etc.? Or do you feel like most men value a woman that basically is going to be a stay at home, raise the kids, play more of a submissive role? Because I've been on both ends of that spectrum. When I was working my full-time air traffic control job, and I was living paycheck to paycheck, I actually valued another woman that was maybe another controller or a girl that made 300 grand, 400 grand as a doctor and attorney because I thought, man, together our joint income would allow us to have more options. But today, after reconstructing my life and growing and evolving, I have financial freedom today. And so today, I don't value a woman that is a doctor and attorney. Actually, it actually works against that woman because today I'm like, I want a girl that's available. That's what I value. And I know a girl that's a doctor or attorney that has 2 weeks vacation a year, she's never going to be available. I just grinded and hustled to get financial freedom. And so I want a girl that's going to be available and able to go and enjoy the lifestyle with me and go take trips and enjoy the fruits of the labor. That's what I value. And a girl that's going to be at home to raise the kids.
So there's three genders in the world. There's high status men, there's women, and there's low status men. If we're answering the question for low status men will take the most attractive woman they can get their hands on, rich or poor. They don't care. Low status men will take anything they can and they will be great.
But do you think they find the girl that makes money more attractive? Apples to apples.
Like sexually attractive? No.
Let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 8 and an 8. That one girl doesn't work. One girl doesn't work and she lives at home with her parents, and the other girl makes 200 grand a year. Which one do they find more attractive?
I have some guys, my guy friends that are male strippers, and they consistently date rich women. Like they just but it doesn't make them more.
Or a male bartender would do that too.
They don't make, but they're not more sexually attracted to these women. It's just their lives are comfortable. If you're poor enough, yes, I absolutely think that dating a wealthier woman would be more appealing to you. But I don't think you're more sexually attracted to her. If you're now that's low status men. For high status men, I think they're going to prefer a woman that is just makes their lives easier. See, some guys like to say the word submissive. I don't need a woman to be submissive. I don't even care if you express your opinion. Just don't tell me how I fucking feel. Ask me how I feel. Just don't tell me how I feel. Don't deliberately start arguments and don't accuse me of shit. If you can do that, it's not that I don't want a woman who's opinionated. I don't want a woman who's masculine. That's what I don't want. And so what I prefer is a woman who's going to complement my life. And so for some guys, that's like submissive house mom, like housewife. That's for them. For me, it's more like, do you agree and are you fully on board with what I do for a living? If you are like that, that's what I find. That's all I want. So different guys are different. And like, by the way, I'll say this also. If you're if you come from a strict Muslim upbringing, you don't want your woman going out without a headscarf, and she should always be accompanied by like a male relative whenever she goes out. You're super strict, no drinking, none of that shit. If you're like me, and I've dated bikini models my whole life, and I've dated several published Playboy models, I'm way more lax when it comes to that. I like when my girl goes out and wears a bikini because we pick up women together. So that's fine with me. Like you as a man get to choose individually where your lines are. For me, guy girl porn on OF is a line I would not cross. Any girls who's ever been a sugar baby, you're off the fucking list. I'm not going to do that. Like those are the lines for me I would not cross. For you,
those are the only 2 lines?
Oh no, I mean, obviously there's way more lines than that. But like just being a bikini model, like I know girls like Caitlin Runkin,
like the girls, the 60 girls, they're going to be doing this fashion runway thing at the Hard Rock tomorrow. Is that off limits?
No, they're not off limits. Just don't do guy girl porn on your OF. That's all I'm saying. Like you're selling guy girl porn on your OF, then I'm not interested in dating you because that's like that.
What
you're being
about-
incentivized
what about-
to have sex with random dudes.
What about no girl guy porn but showing everything?
So
And even like dildos.
at this point, I can't be a hypocrite. I've dated too many girls in Playboy for me to like
Yeah.
say that I would date a girl who's ever been nude. But like I'm less likely to do it now than before. Like I've dated several. Even in my 20s, I dated girls who were in Playboy, and I just like it is definitely is challenging. It's not ideal, but it's like that to me. The step away from me is you're being incentivized to have sexual intercourse with random dudes on your OF for money. We're not cool. I'm not cool with that. Or if you've ever had sexual intercourse with a man who you don't find attractive, but because he gave you money, so sugar baby stuff, which is one derivative away from prostitution, that's the line for me. Other people can have a line where it's like any girl who posts anything on the internet, I don't want to date them, and you have the right as a man to have that standard. You have the right. When women have preferences for a man's height or income, that is never insulted or derided. When men have preferences for a woman's weight or her body count or what she posts on social media, we're seen as misogynistic and patriarchal. I'm sorry. My standards or my preferences in women are just as valid as a woman's preference.
Okay, let me give you one more. So there was another clip in this conversation with this male dating coach, and this one got a lot of engagement, and it was very controversial online. I said, a girl could be 22 and hot, and she's invited on a yacht. A guy has to go build and grind and get knocked down, get back up, build, grind, get knocked down, get back up, go build, grind, network, build. And then maybe at 38, maybe at 39, maybe at 40, he can get on the yacht. But he likely has to buy the yacht to be on the yacht. And that's the biggest difference. And people were like, oh my God, like girls were very offended. I'm like, it's true. It's fucking true. Why would people get offended off of that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so because it goes to the thing what I said before about being professionally viable and your sexual market value being different. For a man, for me to be sexually viable, I need to be relevant and competent. I need to be successful, and I need to take on assertive, dominant alpha qualities in order for women to find me attractive. In general, not always. I know some women like men who are dandies or whatever, but for the most part, these attractive masculine qualities are what I need to do to be successful. Those are the things that get me the yacht. For a woman to get on the yacht, she needs to go through puberty and not eat too much. That's it.
And look good, yeah.
Yeah, it look good. But like really, I've seen girls that are very young and don't put any work into looking good, and they're still attractive, and they're still going to get invited on the yacht. And so when
she doesn't even need to know the yacht owner. She's invited on the yacht.
Here's the ultimate hypocrisy. When I was 22 and I was in college, and I met a bunch of 22-year-old women who were in college, they wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire because they were hot and 22, and older, wealthier, higher status men were trying to go out with them. Famous men were trying to go out with them. They had no interest in me whatsoever. And so I would have dated any one of those girls when I was 22, and I would have married them because I was like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. They're hot 22-year-olds. I want to date, and I would have married them, but none of them picked me, so I never got married. Then when I'm 45 and now I'm successful, these same 22-year-olds come up to me and are like, why don't you want to settle down? I'm like, you didn't want to settle down when I was 22, but now I'm invited on the yacht because I bought the yacht, and now I'm guilted because I don't want to settle down. No, why didn't you want to settle down when you were 22? Because you wanted to have your fun. Now it's time for me to have my fun. I'm in my 30s. Now it's time for me to have my fun. It's exactly the same thing. The difference is my peak sexual market value I have to earn, and your peak sexual market value, you have to go through puberty. That's the difference.
That's big, dude.
Yeah, that's why it is. But again, it doesn't mean you don't have worth to society. I had 2 female squadron commanders when I was in the Air Force. These women were awesome, strong, accountable, competent, great leaders. These women were terrific at that. But I wasn't sexually attracted to them because they were great pilots. That didn't make me attracted to them. They can be separate. I don't understand why we can't understand there's a biological double standard. Men are physically stronger than women. They're 100% stronger in their upper body and 50% stronger in their lower body than women are. We're 15% bigger than women on average. We desire way more sexual partners than women do. The average man wants as many sexual partners in his lifetime as the top 1% of women. It's just, why can't we just be different?
What about women?
What do you mean?
As far as sexual partners they desire?
I forgot what the number was, but for men it was like 20, and for women it was like 4 or 3 or something like that. Desired sexual partners. It doesn't mean that they will end up with a number higher than that, but when they were asked how many sexual partners do you want in your whole life, they were like 3, 4, something like that, and men were like 15, 20, and so the women who said 20 were like the most promiscuous women there were, and that was only the top 1% of women equaled the average man.
As far as dating up, dating younger, we know women tend to mature a little bit quicker than dudes.
Yes, about
And
18
I
months
think
ahead
that's
of
a
us.
fact. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fact.
women are about a year to 18 months ahead of us as far as
A woman could be
development.
24, 25 and fully mature.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a male could be 24, 25 and still be a little kid. There's guys out there that are 31, 32 that have no clue what's going on. They're still trying to figure out their way. But on the flip side, a woman that's 35, 36, 37 is now approaching that age to where they can no longer have kids. And so do you think that because of that, men are always going to date younger and women are always going to date older, generally speaking?
Well, look, I mean, we could ask that question, or we could look at the question from the opposite standpoint. We look at Dr. David Buss's 37 culture study. He surveys 50,000 people. He goes through all these different tribes. So these are like ancestral tribes, and then it's like Norwegian people, and then it's Mexicans, and it's Indians, and it's Chinese. It's this incredible cross-culture study that he does. And so what he's looking for in the study are what are the things that all these cultures have in common? Older men dating younger women, all 37 cultures. We find it. And the higher the status of the man is, the greater the difference between him and his wife's age in all 37 cultures. We find so are women more interested in a man's ability to procure resources, or the other way around? In all 37 cultures, women are more interested in a man's ability to procure resources than the other way around.
And what are the top three that women are into? You mentioned like 10 of them earlier in the show.
Oh no, those are
But
attraction triggers.
So
it's different. So there's
procuring resources is one of what? What would you call that?
So
that's not an attraction trigger?
yeah, it could be. So that we're talking about two different things. So like I'm talking about in evolution. In evolutionary psychology, what are the things that we find the same in all these different societies? And then there's attraction triggers, which are defined by me, that are a little different, and they're not all attraction triggers. These are just the attraction triggers that I can help you with. So I can't make you taller or better looking, and I can make you richer, but that's not the point, because I don't want you to lead with money. So not using height, not using looks, not using money, not using drugs, and not using alcohol. What are the things that I can help you with? I can help you with competency. I can help you with relevancy. I can help you with access to scarce resources, networks, and locations. I can help you with humor. I can help you with charisma. I can help you with social proof, and I can help you with pre-selection. Those are freebies. Those are ways to attract women without using money. That's what those 9 are. That's all, and those are the ones I specialize in Men of Action. Are there other attraction triggers besides that? Yes. I mean, there certainly are. But those are the main ones that I can teach that don't require height, looks, money, drugs, or alcohol. That's why I teach those.
Yeah, and that's why a guy could be 5'3" and become Jeff Bezos and have all the options that he could ever ask for.
I have a client who's 4'11" who dates stunningly beautiful.
4'11"?
4'11". And it's so funny. Whenever we do sales meetings, I always I show him the picture of the guy, and I was like, he's 4'11". This is who he's dating. And my sales team is like, if you ever doubt this program for 1 second, then just look at this. This absolutely works. I'll show my I have one client, and I know I'm going to get hate for this, but he's 53 years old, and his girlfriend's 22, and he doesn't spend any money on her. She's just like super attracted to him because of the things that I taught him.
Well, your ex is 22, and
she was
how old
20,
are you right
I was
now?
45, and she was 20.
Okay, that's pretty good gap.
Yeah, she was.
My ex was 24. She was 22 when we met, but when we split up just recently, she was 24. I was turning 40.
Yes, and by the way, the girl I'm seeing now, she's 30, and I'm 47, so she's 17 years younger than me. And I don't really care that much about that. I just care about how happy she makes. Like, how do I feel when I'm away from her? Do I miss her? When I'm with her, do I feel peace? When she calls me, am I worried I'm about to get accused of something? Like that kind of stuff. If you guys have ever dealt with a girl with borderline personality disorder, or a girl who's never had a strong masculine figure in their life, this is kind of the difference when it comes to the stimulus thing. If a woman has never had a strong masculine figure in her life, then she turns to the media, her divorced mother who's bitter, right? She turns to big tech. She turns to like pop psychology. What does pop psychology teach women about men in 2025? Men are either Homer Simpson, they're incompetent, or they're Jeffrey Dahmer, they're dangerous. All men are either incompetent or dangerous. So they're being taught, I don't need a man. If a woman grows up with that paradigm, then when you come along and you are both competent and not dangerous, you create a safe space for her, she doesn't know how to react because she's never had a strong masculine figure with which to respect. And so I have some clients that are fathers, and they're like, whenever my daughter brings one of her friends over, I can immediately tell if she has a father in her life. Immediately. Because she understands to be respectful. As men, we always learn to be respectful. You want to know why? Because we got in fights in high school. Because we played football and someone bigger than us
There's consequences.
hit us. There were consequences for us being disrespectful. For women, they grow up in a society, and this is a good thing, we don't hit women. And we shame men for hitting women. We shouldn't hit women. But if you go your whole life as a woman and you realize I could just mouth off to this guy forever and he's never going to do anything to me, and I've been taught that all men are incompetent or all men are abusers, like physical abusers. Well, I remember on my show the other day, I was like, you don't understand, most men don't cheat. Most men are not abusers. Most men don't hit women. And the girls were like, no. I was like, no, it's true. Most men don't hit women. Most men are not abusers. Most men are not
If
narcissists.
girls think that most men do
Yeah,
that,
correct.
they're in the wrong circle.
Correct, but that's because that's what Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg told them on The View. That's because that's what they learned by watching TikTok videos with Shira Seven. They were Chris GQ Perry. These people who pander to women are lying to women, telling women all men are incompetent or dangerous. So if that's what you've learned and you never had a strong masculine figure in your life, I remember like there are places that I go to a lot, but I go on stage at XS so much that I should pay rent.
And what do you do when you go on stage at
Well,
XS? What do you do
I
there?
go on there and I say hi to everyone. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. My point is, I took this one girl up there and I'm like holding her hands and I'm taking her and her 6 friends on stage and she's like, where are we going? And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm home right now. You don't need to question a single fucking thing. This is my home. Everyone here knows me. Anything we want, we get. We're never even gonna have to pay for drinks. Don't question where we're going with your attitude. You can kindly ask me, but don't tell me that where are we going? We want to know where we're going. No. Be quiet.
Otherwise, she's not gonna be going.
This is my home now.
Yeah.
Chill. And but why is that? Why did she say that? She said it because she doesn't have a strong masculine figure in her life. She's learned to always question the man who's in front of her. That's fine. I understand some women go through that. And a lot of these women I become very good friends with, but I will not date them. I will not date them.
Why?
Because they can't, because if I'm competent, I put in all this work, Rich, and you put in all this work to be competent and relevant. I know I'm good at my job. And I am a really, really, really fucking good coach. That's why I have 4,000 clients. I don't have a single bad review from anyone who's finished my course. And there's hundreds of testimonials on my website because I'm a really good coach. If I have a woman who's questioning what I do for a living or where we're going or like how, like we're driving to San Diego. Are we taking the right road? Are we on the right? Like,
Yeah.
Stop. I'm a competent male. If you don't understand that, that's totally fine. No disrespect. You need to find some other dude. I will be respected.
But do you believe that a woman could have no strong male figure in their life, but still actually get to a point where they're fully trusting another dude?
It's harder. I mean, it's definitely better if they have the strong masculine figure in their life. And by the way, it's usually their dad, but it doesn't have to be their dad. It could be a religious figure. It could be they joined the military and it's an NCO that they served under. Some masculine figure that was both competent and safe. They need to, and they understand that they can respect him. So this is another big difference. As men, if I love you, I solve problems for you. And if we're friends, I respect you. We show each other respect. That's the way we show each other that we care about each other. I will respect. Hey, your wife and you were fighting. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to keep my fucking mouth shut. You and I had a conversation about something confidential. No one knows. I don't snitch on my homies ever. That's respect that we have as men. Right? We may get into an argument with each other, but it's going to stop at a certain point because we're not throwing punches because we respect each other. That's how men show love for one another. For women, the way they show love is this hot, fiery, mushy lava emotion that they have in their chest. And they're like, I would kill for my man. Why are you looking at me? Like, and they show love with emotion. And for me, a way a woman shows me that she loves me is not by the hot, fiery lava emotion that she has in her chest. It's by showing me respect even when she has this emotion. When she wants to pop off and get angry, I respect him because I love him. I'm not going to cause a scene in front of his clients, in front of his friends. I understand that even though I feel jealous in this moment, I'm going to wait till we're in private. I'm going to express to him that I feel jealous. Honey, you can always tell me how you feel. Always. Don't tell me how I feel. Don't tell me, you really like that girl. You're in love with your ex. Don't tell me how I feel. You can ask me how I feel. Don't ever tell me how I feel. And the other thing is like, if these guys out there are dealing with this right now, you're dealing with a woman who constantly accuses you. Like, again, if you're a competent man and you had an employee who was accusing you of shit with no evidence, you would fire him. If in the United States military, if you accuse another officer of a crime, you had better have evidence. If you're an officer, you accuse another officer of a crime, you are now guilty of a crime if you can't prove that this other officer is guilty. But your girlfriend apparently can just tell you that you cheated on her when she did. And Chris GQ Perry goes off and says, some women can tell they're being cheated on by a dream. Do you understand how insane that
That's
is?
crazy. That's
That is
freaking
just a
crazy.
complete and total. That is the worst woman pandering I've ever heard in my life. No, if you want to show me that you love me, then when you have that red hot fiery emotion, quell it till we're private. Express to me how you feel. Ask me how I feel. Let's have a conversation about it respectfully. When you do that, now I know you love me. That's the girl you marry. That's the one you spend 75 years with. That's the one you have kids with. That's the one you buy the
And
house
you,
for.
you know what else is hot is when you're dating a woman and you get into your first disagreement, and you see how they maneuver that disagreement and how they recover. There's two types of girls. There's a girl that is gonna like blow up, become a hothead, accuse you, blame you, play the victim role, and make it very challenging. And there's also the other girl that's gonna be calm, collective, and be like, hey, let's talk about this together. Let's collaborate on a solution, and let's learn from it, and we're good. There's two types of girls. The latter, I'm like, damn, she just got two notches hotter.
Yeah, of course. It's so incredible. But here's the thing. I expect if you date a girl who's not very experienced with men, she's going to be obsessed with you. There's nothing wrong with you feeling jealous, honey. There's nothing wrong with you suspecting that I might be talking to some other girl. That's sexy. I don't mind that you're jealous. What I have a problem with is you telling me I'm cheating. Ask me. Or provide evidence. I don't need, like, we date women together. I don't need to cheat. That would be stupid for me to, it would be the dumbest thing in the world if I have a girl who's bringing women home for me to cheat on her. I would never, how stupid are you, bro? Like, I don't need to.
And by the way, your 22-year-old ex was doing that. She was bisexual.
Yes.
Bringing
but we
another woman
love
home.
her. We don't need to talk about her anymore, but she's a great person, and she's going to come. She's a barber right now. You guys can go to Kylie Cuts. Everyone in Houston should go get your hair cut. She's the greatest barber. She's awesome at ball fades.
Your ex is a barber?
Yeah, she's
I
a
didn't
barber
know.
now. And she's
I like a good fade.
she's terrific at it. Everyone should go follow her. Kylie Cuts, and she cuts hair on the beach in Houston. She'll go out on the beach and like cut people's hair. Great thing. But my relationship with her, like this,
She's gonna have a lot of dudes rolling up in that
Here's the other
barbershop
thing.
now.
Here's the other thing I learned. She had to deal with so much shit because she was dating me that I never want to put another woman through that again. So I'm never going to talk about my relationships publicly again. It was cool to do because I wanted guys to see after all the stuff I do, I still have an amazing, young, beautiful woman who really wanted to be with me. And I wanted to show proof of concept. And I also wanted her to participate because I would watch Layla Hermosi and Alex Hermosi, or I would watch Grant Cardone's wife. I forgot her name.
Elena.
I would watch Elena Cardone and Grant Cardone. And I was like, I wanted that. Or I would watch, How to Beast and his wife, Yulia. I wanted that. But then I realized that's not what she wanted. And so it doesn't work. And I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
No one needs to know. And no one ever going to know who I'm dating ever again. But the thing is, in that situation, because I'm like the girl I'm seeing now, we see women together. I don't need to go see other women. Like I just really don't.
Yeah,
It's
you'd be
silly.
dumb to cheat.
It would be
at that point.
stupid. It would be silly. But no, it's a waste of time. You understand? I get everything I want with this amazing woman. I need to invest in her. Like that's the way I look at it.
Do you feel like you grow more in terms of like business, fitness, happiness when you're in a relationship with the right girl or single?
I would not have answered this way 10 years ago, but I will say now it's when I'm in a relationship. Because there's that hunting that I have, that fucking thing where it's like, oh God, there's a hot girl at fucking Omnia tonight. I have to go out. I've got to go out and see this girl. I just like on IG story, it's like just landed in Vegas, going to Omni. I'm like, oh my God. I don't need to worry about that anymore. And so I can spend more time just focusing on the business.
Yeah,
So
I'm the same way,
yeah,
bro.
so
I'm in agreement there.
being in a relationship, I can definitely be more productive.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's definitely the
I
case.
think it's like a cheat code.
Hey, let
if
me-
you have the right girl.
let me
That's
te-
the caveat. It has to be the right girl.
Let me tell you something funny about the whole bisexual thing, right? I make a video. You see Sadia Khan, she's all in the news or whatever. Turns out she doesn't have a degree. She's not actually a licensed therapist. She attacks all these people online. I made a video about Sadia Khan. It went pretty viral. And I basically said, Sadia Khan said that no woman who lets her man sleep with other women isn't cheating. So if you're a woman and you're like chill about letting your man sleeping with other women, that 100% correlation, she's also sleeping with other men. And of course, I know that to not be the case. I have several guy friends who are married to women who, whether it's open on their end or open on the guy's end, or they're bisexual and they bring
And it's
women
not
home.
open on the girls' end.
Yeah, it's not open on the girls' end, or they're bisexual.
And these
they
girls
bring-
are just chill with it.
I know a lot of girls. It's
And
not
why,
the
why,
most.
why,
it's
why
not
would a
most
girl be
girls.
chill with it?
Huh?
Why would a girl be chill with
She's
it?
bisexual. Generally, 95% of the time she's bisexual. The other 5% of
So
the
they
time,
don't have the same jealousy.
correct.
because-
They don't.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, my point was, of course, there's going to be women who are listening to this and they're like, their ears are burning. They're like, that's horrible. I would never let my man do this. And you're correct. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, most women would not be comfortable with sharing their man. I totally agree. What Sadia Khan said was 100% of the time, a woman would not be comfortable sharing her man. I was like, I'm going to hold you on that one. I know a bunch of bisexual women who actually would be perfectly fine with that. But the reason Sadia Khan has to say that is because if she has a man and he's like, I want to see other women, and she's like, no, if you see other women, those women are all going to cheat on you. But what if he finds a woman that doesn't cheat on him? Then that's the bigger, better deal. She leaves Sadia for him. Anyway, Sadia Khan responded to this by saying, that only works for the fatherless sex worker women that you talk to, Michael Sartain, and you don't realize that all the women you talk to are cheating on you. And I'm like, yo, girl, you have 1 million followers and you're fucking punching down on me. I'm nobody. Like, and you're telling me that my girl is cheating on me. Like, you're making personal attacks against me when I didn't make personal attacks against you. And I wrote her later and I was like, hey, there's nothing personal, but I was like, well, I don't know why you came after me like that. I was like, and then she was like, well, you seem to know everything about my content. You watch my content more than me. I was like, she's still insulting me. Sadia Khan is still insulting me in the DMs. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Come to find out what she's doing. She has a husband, is fucking another dude. She's the side chick for another guy. Do you see this? I'll suck his dick on his wedding day and your birthday. And you hear the voice recordings?
No.
Yeah, she goes off. She's like, she basically is the side chick for some dude. And her father is Pakistani and had 4 wives.
Damn.
It was crazy. It was like the ultimate hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Was Sadia Khan calling me out for saying something that I knew to be true. I have several friends where the woman is bisexual. The guy is like, he's they're together, and she is also very attracted to women, and they bring women home, and they've been together for 20 years. I know several couples where this has worked. And I'm not saying maybe it could work the other way. I don't think it could. I think when women are sleeping with multiple men, it has much more of a different effect. But I've seen this work before. So I'm saying I know most of the time it wouldn't work, but 5% of the time or 10% of the time it would work. And that's what Maya expressed. And she was so angry by that. It's such can you imagine some guy criticizing you and you going on his channel and just talking shit to him when this guy has no followers? You're punching down. You as a big content creator, you shouldn't be doing that. And I was so embarrassed for her that she would actually do that. And then
I feel you.
Turns out she did it to everyone.
Break this down, bro. You break it down on the last podcast. I want you to break it down again.
Yes.
For all the dudes out there that are afraid to post the meme, they're afraid to post on social media because they're afraid and terrified about what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
We live in a world that what?
Yes.
Break this down, baby.
Yes. You live in a country where
No. I want to hear some fucking passion.
Yo, you want some passion?
I want some heat, bro. Bring the heat.
This video got 50 million views on YouTube.
Yo, bring it.
I was at Swimsuit USA, and I sit down with my whole team, and I had a wife beater on because it was so hot outside. And I had the little lavalier right here, and they start asking me questions, and my team knows how to piss me off. And when they piss me off and fill me full of caffeine, like you guys did here today, then I start saying crazy shit. And so I look into the camera, and I was like, Michael, what about posting on social media? And I go, you live in a country where a man fucked a porn star while his wife was pregnant, and you elected him to be president twice. You live in a country where a man runs over a person, kills them, runs over a second person after transitioning to become a female, and 4 months later, you name Caitlyn Jenner Woman of the Year. You live in a country where a man punches his wife in his stomach in a movie they make about him. He kidnaps his own kid. He goes to jail for 15 months for securities fraud. You think his life would be over, but you love this guy. He's the most sought after sales trainer in America. Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. You all love that movie. The face of prison reform in the United States is Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, who made a sex tape with Ray J, is in the White House getting legislation passed about prison reform. And there's all these Oliver North. You remember Oliver North, the Iran-Contra affair? This guy he commits all these crimes. He ends up confessing in front of the Congress and Senate, and he's now a correspondent on Fox News. O.J. Simpson allegedly murders 2 people, stabs them 56 times, and before he died, he told me, I had a conversation with him, he was offered millions of dollars to do a fantasy football podcast. All these people fuck up. No one pays for shit, and you're afraid to post a meme because you're afraid of what people at work are going to think about you or what your mom is going to think about you. No one pays for shit. Adam 22 lets his wife have sex with this other porn star on camera, and he makes more money and is more popular because of it. Dylan Dennis sits there and clowns on Logan Paul because he wants to marry Nina Agdal. Nina Agdal, meanwhile, there's hundreds of photos of her making out with other dudes, and then he still marries her. Logan Paul makes more money. Dude, Jake Paul, he ends up getting caught for posting this like shill coin, and he makes $40 million for fighting Mike Tyson, and you're worried about posting a meme. you understand how stupid that makes you seem? No one pays for shit. You can do anything now. You remember the guy who did Fire Festival?
Firefest. Ja Rule. Ja Rule.
Ja Rule, but you
Yeah.
remember the other guy, Billy McFarland?
No.
Billy McFarland, he goes and does an MMA fight. While he's doing the MMA fight, he's sitting there getting paid to do it, and Joe Rogan is sitting in the front row. It's like, we're living in an alternate universe where you can do everything wrong and still become a billionaire. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. You remember, hold on, well, I got another one for you. Elon Musk put his dick in Amber Heard. He fucked Amber Heard, the woman who shit on Johnny Depp's bed. And he's the richest man in the world. And you're worried about a meme you were going to post, bro.
How many kids does Elon have?
12, 13, something like that.
And no one talks about that.
Yeah, I mean,
No one talks about
it's pretty
that.
wild.
With probably 12 girls, right?
Maybe fewer than that, but he's had multiple with Grimes. So yeah, I mean, he's done that. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is people heard when I made that initial video, and it got 33 million views on YouTube. And this pro-Palestinian website got a hold of it, started reposting it, and then they basically thought I was shitting on America. I'm not shitting on America. I'm shitting on you for not taking chances, because if you're in America and you screw up, Donald Trump has multiple bankruptcies under his belt. He's made incredibly. Do you remember that one time he was trying? Do you remember that one time he was trying to impress that one news reporter by showing her top secret documents at Mar-a-Lago? He does this, and that's one of the felonies he was convicted on in the Southern District of New York.
Okay.
And no one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares, bro.
People are caring about the 100% bonus depreciation, the tariffs, our interest rates coming down.
I mean, speaking of Donald Trump, Joe Biden went out one time. He said he doesn't want his children going to school in the jungle. He was talking about busing. He didn't want his white kids going to school with black kids. He says it. You don't believe me? Look it up. He says it in 1977, and you still elected him president of the United States. And you're worried about, I'm going to go on a podcast and say something stupid, Michael. No one cares. Here's another thing. I have never had more people hate me in my entire life than right now. I have never had more people try to cancel me in my entire life right now, and I have never had more job offers. I've had people offer me jobs.
Than right now.
I've never had more people and more opportunity in my life than right now.
Yeah.
No one pays for shit. Take chances.
The takeaway is this: when you're building, it gets lonely, and the less you give a fuck, the more dangerous you become.
So this is what
bet on yourself.
This is what I tell my clients. When I fully choose to stop caring what people think about me, they become obsessed with me. Say this to yourself. If you guys are watching this, when I stop caring what people think about me, they become obsessed with me. Some of you think I'm making this up. Try
It's
it.
true. It's the truth.
Try going home for Thanksgiving dinner and everyone says stupid shit to you. People are trying to rile you up, your siblings, your parents, whatever, and stop caring what they think about you, and they will become obsessed with you. It makes no sense. It was one of the craziest things when Grant Cardone said the most hate he ever got was when he started making the most money. When you stop caring what people think about you, people become obsessed with you. And now your organic leads go up, your paid traffic goes up, everything goes up.
Everything levels up.
Everything levels up. And I have never had more people hate me than right now. This very moment today, CBS News came and interviewed me last week.
Yeah.
They
CBS
came out.
News interview.
CBS
Michael
News.
Sartain?
Shout out to Adam Yamaguchi, who's correspondent from CBS News. End of this month, CBS News is doing a report on why men are falling behind. And they're interviewing Professor Richard Reeves. And they wanted some red pill manosphere guy. Well, if you guys know me, I'm the wrong person to interview because I love women. I'm not really red pill, even though Rollo Tomasi's one of my best friends. I'm not really a red pill guy. I don't believe in a lot. I think men should have tons of female friends. They interview me. And while they're interviewing me, like you could tell, like the interviewer's confused because he's waiting for me to be this knuckle dragging, like homophobic, woman hating, Bible thumping, red pill dude. He's expecting. And by the way, I'm telling him, it's like we as men, because we're bigger and stronger than women, it's our job to protect women. It's our job to make this world a safer place. And he's just like taken aback. He doesn't expect any of this. And I'm going to get so much hate. CBS, they're going to say so much shit about me. And the London Times wrote an article about me 2 months ago. Everything in the article is complete fiction. They made up everything in the fucking article. Like none of it's true. Some guy comes onto one of my boot camps undercover and he just says that I said a bunch of things that I provably never said. I have witnesses that'll say that I never said anything. It goes in the London Times. I get asked a bunch of questions about it. I get more hate last month, record-breaking month. Most guys ever joined Men of Action last month. After all this shit I take, it's incredible. And so now what'll happen is you'll get to this point, and I'm sure you're at this point, Grant Cardone's at this point, Brad Lee's at this point, Dan Fleischman's at this point, Wes Watson is definitely at this point, where it's when they really, really hate you, and then you look at your bank account and you're like, holy shit, this is how it works. This is
That's the game right there.
That's the game. And
Yeah.
so some of you guys are watching
on
this right now,
yourself.
and you're holding on so dearly to this like persona that you want to keep. And it just like, I would rather tell the truth. I
Well,
can
dude,
sleep
I'll
better
give
at
you an
night.
example of it. Most real estate investors, and when I first got into real estate, I thought you got to be buttoned up, you got to be in a suit and tie, you can't have a hat, you can't have any tattoos. And guess what? I have a fucking neck tattoo, I have hand tattoos, I wear a hat, I say whatever the fuck I want to say. And guess what? The more I do that, the more I win. The more people bring me deals, the more investors I get, the more capital I get, the more I win. It goes full circle.
The more you don't care about what people think about you,
Yes.
the more they become obsessed with you. That's how it works.
Break this down. What is the real reason he has no IG?
Oh, this is
Break this down. The real reason he
this
has
makes so
no
many
IG.
So I came on this last
Yeah,
time and I
yeah.
said, ladies, you think that you're dating Bob, and that Bob's just so busy. Bob's a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I had one girl tell me, Bob's the president of Bitcoin. I'm like, Bitcoin doesn't have a president. What are you talking? She's like, Bob is this famous, he works in oil or whatever, and that's why Bob doesn't have an Instagram. No, honey, Bob doesn't have an Instagram because he doesn't want you to see his wife and kids. That's why. And girls got so angry, like, and my favorite part, if you guys go back and watch that clip, go look in the comments. There's all these dudes are like, bro, why are you dry snitching?
Yeah.
Why are you snitching on us, dog?
Yeah.
Why are you saying? And the women are still like, no, that's not true. He's just too busy to have an Instagram. Bro, and these women are like, you're dating some dude in San Diego. You've never been to his house. He's driving a Bentley, and he comes up and he's taking you out to all these different places, and he has no Instagram. You're dating this good-looking guy who lives in Southern California and has no Instagram, and you actually think he doesn't have an Instagram. He has one, or he doesn't have one. He just doesn't want you to see his wife and kids. That's why he doesn't have one. And these women are so clueless. And then here's what happened. So after we did that thing, I got so much hate. And then I started getting these messages
I
from
saw
girls.
you in the DMs.
These girls DMing me, and they're like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it turns out this guy he had a wife the whole time.
Damn.
And other ladies, I'm gonna say another thing. There's some lady right now, you're looking at me right now. You're dating a guy, and he's technically married, but he's separated from his wife, and they're about to get divorced. Honey, I got bad news for you. They're never getting divorced. He's not leaving her for you. I know you're sure. I know the promises he tells you when he gets to the hotel rooms in the middle of the night. I hate to be the one to tell you this. He's never leaving his wife for you. You notice how he's about to get divorced, but it's taken like a year, 2 years, whatever. No, he's still sleeping with his wife.
It's not the paperwork.
It's not the paperwork. You can get divorced very quickly, especially no contest divorces, no fault divorces that are out there. If there was a prenup, none of this is the case. And you ladies are out there, and maybe if you never heard this before, and I'm the first one to tell you, let me tell you. You're waiting for this guy to get divorced because technically he's already divorced, and you're having plenty of sex with him. I'm sure he's sleeping with you all the time. He's never leaving his wife. You give him a month, 2 months. If he's not completely divorced and you don't see the paperwork, he's never leaving his wife. And I'm sorry to be the first one to tell you this. Okay.
And what do you tell the girl in that situation to do? What's your advice to her?
You remember what I said before? The quickest way to understand women is to stop listening to them. The quickest way to understand men is to stop listening to them. Only pay attention to their actions. Ladies, if you want the number one piece of advice for understanding a relationship, pay way more attention to what he does and less attention to how you feel about it. And you will always get the right answer. Don't worry about how you feel about it. Because a lot of times women will have a good man who provides for them, comes home all the time, is faithful, but they don't feel the passion for it. No, you're worried about how you feel about it. Worry about what he does. He showed up for you. He comes home every night. Keep that man. Get ready what happens when you leave that man, how hard it's going to be for you. You know what I'm saying? And now, so I tell women the same thing. It's like, if a guy keeps saying he's getting divorced, he keeps saying, hey, I'll pay for this later. He keeps talking about the vacations he's going to take. He keeps making these promises, but the promises never follow through. That just pay attention to his actions. Stop listening to his words.
Yeah. What do you tell someone that is in a relationship? Because relationships are hard, right? I look at people that are married 20, 25 years, and I think it's easy for folks to see that on Instagram and be like, man, I want that. Their life is beautiful. Their relationship is beautiful. They've been married for 30, 40 years. But what they don't realize is like everyone goes through it. Relationships are not easy. And so what do you tell someone that's in a relationship, maybe to listen to this right now, and they've been together for 3, 4, 5 years, and they're wondering if the grass is greener on the other side. Is the grass really greener on the other side?
So I would look at like, what do you get in this relationship? And like, the problem is I go to work every day when I don't feel like it. That's the thing. If you want to know the number one thing I teach in my course, it's taking action when you don't feel like taking action. It's going to the gym when you don't feel like it. It's getting in the cold plunge when you don't feel like it. It's eating healthy when you don't feel like it. It's doing the podcast when you don't feel like it. It's doing the study when you don't feel like it. It's filming the ad when you don't feel like it. And the thing is, if you want this relationship to last, it can't always be this red hot, fiery love emotion. And she always has to be the hottest girl in the room. If you want to have kids and have a family with someone that you've chosen, you have to ask yourself, what am I getting out of this relationship? And what is it worth? Like, that's why marriage is so deleterious for men. It's like you want to leave the relationship, but you lose half. And it's just, and you can never speak to her again because, and then now she pollutes your children's mind because she's talking shit about their dad. Their mom is talking shit about you. And now you have to spend the rest of the next 10 years trying to make up for the fact that she's just been lying about you or just polluting the children's mind about you. And so you just don't want to go through this divorce. And so like the trick is you have to ask yourself, like, what am I losing in this situation? What am I actually losing? And you'll see guys, they'll cheat. And then the moment they get caught, they're like, why did I do this? This was really, really stupid. I've lost everything because of this. Wasn't worth losing half. So my advice to you is take honest accountability and inventory of like what it is that you're losing, and then also question whether or not you want to get married in the first place. I love the idea of you having a pair bond with someone, calling them your person, even having a ceremony and having kids with them. I don't necessarily think you got to get the state involved.
That's so good. Michael Sartain, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Always dropping so much game, so much value. Where can the folks get in touch with you if they want to learn more? And more importantly, where can they get in touch with you if they want to be a part of Men of Action?
Okay, if you want to find me, it's really easy. Go on Instagram and just search Michael Sartain. I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube. You can also find me on Michael Sartain pretty easily. If you want to see more, if you're like not sure, go to moamentoring.com/testimonials. There's hundreds and hundreds. Go through just make yourself a promise. I'm going to go through the first 100 testimonials. They're video testimonials. Also, the FTC states that if I compensate any of these people for testimonials, I have to annotate that. Not a single person was compensated. Every one of those people came to us and said, we want to do a testimonial for you. Hundreds and hundreds of testimonials of guys whose life I've changed, everything from being divorced and just being zeroed out, not understanding women, to guys considering self-deletion, taking their own life, and me helping them in those situations, helping fix their business, helping them get their dream girl, helping them get the abundance they want with their social life, their networking, their dating, their leadership, and their accountability. I'm there to help you. If you can't replace your girlfriend, you can't replace your job, and you can't replace your social circle in 15 minutes, you don't have enough abundance. It's my job to teach you to have that level of abundance. If you want to learn more about that, we have a new program out. It's $27. There's all these articles about like everything I sell is $10,000. It's $27. There's a London Times article saying that it's $8,000 to come to one of my boot camps. Just like complete fiction. It's $27 if you want to go on moamentoring.com and you can get our off-market dating system for $27.
There you go. There you go. And if you want to work with you directly, go where?
Just go to Michael Sartain.
There it
Write
is.
me on IG. That's the easiest way.
There it is. He's Michael Sartain hosting an event this weekend.
Yes.
We're just getting warmed up because it's just the beginning. I'm Rich Summers, listeners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.